obviously, the number one thing that Ethan could never do is leave comments hidden. And he knew that people were going to watch it and be like, this sucks, dog. You're stupid. So he probably hired people to literally clamp on every single pro Hasan comment instantly as soon as it comes in, so that he can make it seem like he is not actually censoring people while simultaneously doing just that.
Bad thing happening here. Can't talk about my bad behavior ever. When can you then? When can you? So they've just gone to the original interview and they've stripped away the context of the point that's being made, which is obviously, as we're talking about, being dishonest about his views to trick people essentially through the front door to enter this kind of pipe dude. The amount of time he's talked about this, it's gone from dark to light. Bro, that is actually really funny. I hadn't noticed that.
Famously, on election night, when I had 314,000 people on my broadcast watching in real time, I was actually blacklisted.
As you know, let's start the segment here. As you know, Ethan Klein has just released the Hasan nuke. Now, I'd say that, you know, amongst his community, obviously it's been derided as the work of an obsessed madman. Someone who is crashing out, someone who has gone crazy, someone who is deranged, and it's very bad and is filled with lies and misinformation, right? Obviously people that hate Hasan say that it's very good. I think it's good. I think there's a couple of small nitpicky issues that you could make with it. But the broad thrust of the video, which is that Hasan has engaged in behavior that is unquestionably against Twitch's terms of service and has not been punished for it, is, you know, a terrible fucking blight on Twitch's reputation. And Hasan himself has engaged in very obvious, clear promotion and support for terrorist entities. And in his desire to criticize Israel, which is fine, you can criticize Israel and what they do, because I think there's a lot to criticize there. He has gone off on the deep end and is like a deranged, anti-American hater who will do apologia for other entities that he would criticize America for doing the same thing. And yeah, he is given full-throated support for terror organizations and, you know, played terrorist propaganda on stream. He's an extremist, yeah. He's shown how much of an extremist he is, an unrepentant extremist, to the point where in the UK, his acts would likely fall foul of some sort of crime. That would be a criminal act, some of the stuff he's been up to. Now, I know we're a bit of a free speech nightmare over here, so I'm not saying that because it's like, well, you know, it's just to highlight to you that in other areas, his behavior would be seen as criminal. And, I mean, there's some that are questioning whether or not his own actions would potentially constitute a criminal act. Because I think you're allowed to have a certain degree of, obviously, free speech in regards to talking about terrorist organizations. But I think you can still fall foul of, like, well, I don't want to speak on it, to be honest. I don't want to go too much into it. But there's certainly been questions about that, how relevant they are, and whether or not he's actually like a criminal by American law. I couldn't say, but certainly the acts are so egregious that in other countries this would constitute a criminal act. And yeah, it's just obviously incredibly fucked up behavior to be so supportive of like a regime that commits such atrocities against their own people and others. So anyway, I find the behavior to be kind of terrible and atrocious. And although I had, you know, some insight already into the stuff that he'd done, there were some new clips there that I thought were horrendous. The worst one of all, probably when the hostages were getting released, and Hasan made a comment that, paraphrasing, they essentially looked sad to be leaving their captors. And the other thing that I think was probably so egregious was the way in which he completely downplayed and in fact completely minimized to nothing the sexual violence that occurred on October 7th. and he just completely hand waved that away, you know, and said, it called massive doubt, poured loads of doubt onto it, you know, questioned it. Anytime it gets brought up in a video, he's like laughing about it and stuff like that. Now, I love edgy humor, don't get me wrong. Edgy humor's fine. But it doesn't really hit the same when you actually, you know, when you actually believe the things that you're joking about like that, it doesn't really hit the same. So yeah, that's my take on it all, basically. That's my take on the whole thing, to put it very simply. So yeah, anyway, there we go. That's my perspective. Let's go ahead and have a look at his response. His response has been pretty shit, to be honest with you. We're going to look at some initial clips here that I've already showed on stream. And then I found like a more fully clipped hour-long response, which hopefully is going to get into some details. So let's see what we can find. Let's have a look.
I can't believe another person basically compiled Reddit posts from Epstein's subreddit into a shittily edited 2-hour video.
So what's happening there obviously is twofold. I already watched this clip, so this is pre-watched. This is definitely pre-watched. So it's dual. One is obviously to associate with Destiny, who has just had, you know, a terrible controversy drop on him. So he's trying to associate that closely, despite the fact it's not associated.
How do I make money off depressed people?
Let me guess. He doesn't actually respond to the video.
Indeed, you've already guessed it. You guessed correct. Thank you for the super chat. So yeah, but the thing is, this video is not meaningfully associated with Destiny. There's one moment where Destiny's mentioned in you know, I think he comes on the screen at one time, and another point he's mentioned, and the purpose of it, it doesn't really change despite what has just come out in regards to Destiny, because it's pointing out that Destiny was banned from Twitch for using the term subhuman, and it's highlighted for, you know, when referring to perceived trans individuals. Now you could argue that there's other behavior from Destiny that also contributed to his ban, and that their decision making on this, like the Carl Rittenhouse clip, which I'm sure you all know. We don't need to repeat ourselves on that. So you can make that argument, certainly. Okay, but fundamentally, what it came down to is he referred to inbred. My apologies. Inbred. You're right. I got it wrong. Misinformation. Take that back. Subhuman. Take that back. It was referring to trans people as inbred in a, you know, a very vitriolic statement, right? And that resulted in an indefinite suspension from Twitch. Now, the reason the clip was in there was not because it was saying, oh, you know, I support, you know, okay, listen, you're a fucking moron. Obviously, you're going to get banned just for sucking. Not even. The thing is, right? This is all the people have got, right? All they've got is they're grasping at straws. It's a nothing burger, right? Make an argument. Make an argument against the points that are made. All you've got is it's a nothing burger. That's all that you've got. And I don't have time to get one guy today. Okay, we're getting into this. In any case, the whole point of it was to say that, look, let's forget it's about Destiny, because it actually doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter who the streamer is. Unless you want to, you know, obviously they want to make it matter because then they can use it as a point against the video. But it doesn't really matter. Because the point is, here's another streamer that used the word inbred and to refer to a minority group, and that resulted in an indefinite suspension, certainly on top of other behavior. But then they show a bunch of clips of Hasan referring to Jewish people as inbred repeatedly. Also making very vitriolic comments about Jewish people. And obviously, no punishment for any of those comments. And that's on top of platforming a terrorist without meaningfully pushing back against them from a terrorist group, the Houthis. You know, that's on top of broadcasting terrorist propaganda. So even if you want to make the argument about the pattern of behavior that led to someone's suspension, Hasan has got exactly the same pattern of behavior in terms of the way that he engages and the things that he has done. He has repeatedly broken TOS, but he doesn't get any punishment at all. Right? There's been a few bans, of course, but generally speaking, he doesn't tend to get punishment for these acts. So, totally irrelevant point in regards to Destiny, trying to connect the two so that you can just hand wave it away. Very obvious what's going on there. And the Reddit comment is, on the one hand, trying to act like it's less meaningful because it was found on Reddit. But the reality of it is, the clip is the clip is the clip. If there's a clip, and it's within context, and it's a clip of you doing something, it literally doesn't matter where it comes from. It doesn't matter where it was found. The clip is still the clip. It shows what happened and it shows what you said. And that's the important part of this. And you'll note that people talking about this are not generally speaking about what's in the clip. They're talking about where it came from. And that tells you everything you need to know about the people that are engaging with this. And the clip chimping thing, clip chimp means that something has been taken out of context. So you've only taken a short clip that doesn't include the full context that would substantively change the meaning of what's being said. And no one has provided, that I've seen, any meaningful evidence that further context would change the meaning of the clip in question. So that is obviously stupid as well. So anyway, that being said, these kind of defenses that he's trying to make, it's kind of obfuscation, it's distraction. It's not actually addressing the kind of meat and potatoes of the situation. And I think that's obviously by design.
Why are you filtering good info? What are you saying? I really don't want to be annoying. I have new info. Everyone that says I really don't want to be annoying is actually being annoying. How can I get a hold of you? I'm knowledgeable about Army aviation. I've been trying to reach out. I have verification. Please check log. I can answer aviation questions you have. I'm going to spam because the usual ways to reach you don't work. Can I DM you? I have important info. What's up? It's the eyebrows that make you look shocked. Yeah, the eyebrows are of the country because they're deleting any comments that are pro Hasan. Yeah, of course they are, dude. What are you talking about? Like, obviously, the number one thing that Ethan could never do is leave comments hidden. And he knew that people were going to watch it and be like, this shit sucks, dog. You're fucking stupid. So he probably hired people to literally clamp on every single pro Hasan comment instantly as soon as it comes in so that he can make it seem like he is not actually censoring people while simultaneously doing just that.
Okay, so we now got some conspiracy about comments getting deleted, which I don't know if there's any evidence for. The other thing to bear in mind as well is if you leave a comment with swearing or other provocative language in, it can sometimes get filtered, so it doesn't actually show. I mean, if Ethan is deleting comments, I'm not, I don't really care that much about it, but I do think it's maybe like a shitty thing to do, maybe, or something like that. But I don't even know if there's evidence of this. And on top of that as well, Ethan provided the like to dislike ratio, I think, quite early on. And it wasn't just off of the YouTube front page thing, it was the back end stuff. And it had like an 86% like ratio or something along those lines. So this narrative that it's like not being well received and bad comments are being deleted, yeah, I'm not seeing any evidence for that. Anyway, let's continue on.
He called Kaya a designer dog. Yeah, maybe because I actually train my dog and not let her piss and shit and fucking bark all the goddamn time. No disrespect, but that's crazy. Coming after Kaya, that's crazy. Where'd you get bigger clothes?
Bro.
She's just well trained, you know?
What dog has he got? Well, yeah, he's shit-talking his dog, presumably. Well, I mean, I don't know if Ethan is shit-talking Hasan's dog. I think that he's just saying, like, It's a designer dog that costs a lot of money. A Chow Chow, a denims. Okay. Chow Chow. Yeah, I mean, okay. Chow Chow price. Normally the price gives you a good indication. Chow Chow puppies. Yeah, like £1,000, £1,300. Jesus. Some here going for 3,000. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but yeah, I mean, that sounds like an expensive dog that will require a lot of upkeep. That does sound like a fucking designer dog. I gotta be honest with you, okay? It's like, designer dog presumably means a dog that you have to put a lot of upkeep into. Is that right? Or like a dog that's got a pure breed or something. A very expensive breed that you could need a lot of upkeep is required or something. I don't fucking know about dogs, okay? Anyway, yeah, Hasan is obviously talking shit about the dog back, I guess. About Ethan's dog, presumably. Okay.
I think one of the biggest problems for slop tubers in general is that they think they can tackle political commentary without like doing any reading whatsoever by simply attacking someone who does do political commentary, right? On the basis of like Reddit comments that they've compiled into a video and that they've like edited together. And the issue is,
Okay, that's wonderful.
you don't
But
know
how do
what
I
you're
make
talking
money
about.
off
Like,
depressed people?
Lol, Americans really don't value dogs. In Sweden, I had to pay like 3k for a relatively common Westie.
Thank you for the super chats. Also, it's very rich that he's calling other people slop tubers when his predominant content is like reacting to the news and talking about it, you know? Right. Very, very comedic that he's trying to call Ethan a slop tuber, you know? No, he's talking about Ethan. He's trying to go
Okay,
go
that's
after
wonderful.
Ethan.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Everyone should buy pit bull dogs from kennels. They are the safest breed and good around children. You don't even need to leash them at the dog park.
Thank you for the super chats. So the other thing as well that's happening, and it's like I think I've already spoken about this on stream, but it's like it's politically themed, but you don't need to know politics to understand the dynamic at play here. What politics do you need to understand to know that this
Okay, that's
group?
wonderful. But how
Okay.
do I make money
Sorry, I'm gonna have to mute
off
alerts.
depressed
I'll read them later. Otherwise, I'm never gonna fucking get through this. Thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna set up a goal as well. We'll go through super chats once I've done with this. So it's like you don't need meaningful political knowledge in order to assess what's going on with Hasan, right? Because this is what you do. You look at Twitch's terms of service. What do Twitch's terms of service say? Oh, they say X. They say don't do X. Oh, Hasan has done X on Twitch. He's broken the rules and he's not been banned for it. Okay? Now, you could argue that you need maybe a bit more political insight to take it to the next level, which is X is a prescribed terrorist group and Hasan has showed footage from group X. You could argue maybe you need it there, but I don't think you need to read any theory to understand it, right? You don't need to get in to the, you know, broader meta-political dynamic of what is terrorism. America prescribes groups as terrorists. Why do they do this? What do they do? You know, you don't need to get into that fucking level of detail with it necessarily, okay? You can assess this and look at this quite simplistically. It was a politically themed video, but it wasn't political, like, explicitly, because we're not getting into the weeds of it and talking about the political dynamics. It's just pointing out fundamentally, it's pointing out someone's bad behavior who happens to be a political commentator. You don't need a heavy level of knowledge about politics to understand the dynamics at play.
Like, you have no idea. You thought Roe v. Wade was the gay one, you know, a week ago. Like, you're not like a serious person. And that's precisely the reason why it'll end up having a bunch of stuff, Red Scare shit, at a time when Donald Trump is the president and is just like ripping through the.
Okay. So now he's talking about whether it's going to take.
So funny. This was a funny take, but Fossabot timed you out. Just so you know, Squeaks is not watching and is not interested in the nuke video. I don't even give a shit if people watch the nuke video, brother. I think it speaks for itself that more people are dunking on it and clowning on it than taking it seriously. Like, oh my God, this is the most serious thing. Partially because, a bunch of people have made this exact same video a million times over, and it's almost always the exact same principle. It's always the same shit, which is Hasan bad, Hasan rich, Hasan socialist scary, Hasan loves China, Hasan denies the cultural genocide and mass surveillance that the Chinese government did to Uyghurs in Xinjiang, even though I have been very critical of that a million times over. But it's conducted by a person who doesn't know anything and is simply, rehashing Reddit comments. So that's it. And then clip chimp a couple times on politically charged subjects such as Israel-Palestine, where he'll say something along the lines of like, oh, he is a rape apologist or something. I'm not. I guess the Israeli prosecutors are rape apologists rather than myself.
So yeah, this is like a classic, isn't it? Like characterizing it in a certain way. The thing is, if Hasan said, I don't want to watch the video, I'm not talking about it. I mean, yeah. I think that's probably overall fine. But it's the fact that he keeps talking about it and characterizing it in a certain way. So he doesn't show the audience the video. He doesn't show his own audience the video or respond to it directly. He just characterizes it in a certain way and then responds to that instead.
So funny. This is a funny take.
So the audience don't end up seeing the material, which is pretty damning. Pretty damning, And the thing is, to be honest with you, even if he did show it, there might be some people that raise their eyebrows a bit and get a bit concerned within his audience, but he's got a sycophantic community, so people would probably largely just side with him. Do you know what I mean? Or they come up with excuses. Like the Twitch thing, they probably go something along the lines of like, oh, well, who cares? That's a stupid terms of service anyway. Who cares about that, Or well, there's another streamer that also did something bad and they didn't get banned. So they just find ways to rationalize and justify, everything that is happening. Yeah, Denims is probably a good example to characterize the behavior of fans that watch the video. And we've obviously watched the clips already, but there's lots of funny clips of Denims pause-andying the video, being proven wrong, and then just acting like she's not been proven wrong. Just sitting there in silence, or alternatively calling the clip out of context. So, yeah. Very cringe, very cancerous behavior. Now, these were kind of his initial takes when it initially dropped. Now, even here, I think he could probably say, well, I don't want to talk about it anymore. And leave it at that. But of course, he didn't do that, did he? He actually spoke about it, apparently, for an hour. He spoke about it for an hour. I guess. I'm assuming this is what he talks about for the full hour. So, let's have a little look and see what he's pulled together.
Was I being manipulated this whole time?
There is a bust of Vladimir Lenin behind my head. What the are you saying? What the absolute
Wait, hang on.
Was I being manipulated this whole time?
There is a bust of
So he pauses it there. Isn't that where he advocates for Swedish social democracy? Is that not where he says that? Because even if there's stuff like the Lenin bust and things like that, like that's the point. The point is you are advocating for one thing and saying that you want one thing while you've got little signs and signals of others. Now, look, to be honest with you, I think Ethan is coping I think Ethan is. I agree that Ethan is coping, and I think that he did probably know more than he lets on. And sure, I can agree with that perspective. But I think that what Hasan is trying to do is act like that's not what he said and that's not what he was doing, when it's on record that that is exactly what he's been trying to do all this time, is trying to bring people to more radical extreme positions by softening it on the front end.
Vladimir Lenin behind my head. What the are you saying? What the absolute are you saying? I used to think you were cool, consistent, and friendly. I looked past the house because I figured it made sense. Then I found out you're a commie. Now I realize you're undeniably a baller, based, and live true to your word. You also have good eyebrows. Thank you. Why is the Tim Pool beanie on stream? I'm wearing this so that people will think that I am Tim Pool, and therefore apolitical, and therefore not radical, therefore not playing a formative role in what is actually ruining the United States of America and perhaps the entire planet, which is the rising tide of fascist mobilization, but instead the much scarier thing, which is communism. Everybody knows it's a significantly scarier thing.
Thing is, there's some.
Ethan's crash out. Oh my god, dude. So the well poisoning here is crazy. Crash out vid. Fucking hell. Jesus. It's so crazy that this guy gets away with being an extremist because women and gays want to fuck him. But yeah, I mean, communism is the capability to be extremely destructive. I think you just need to look at some of the ideas that are proposed by those on the far left, and it gives you an insight into the destruction that would be wrought if they ever had any meaningful political power and control. Now, that's not to say that I don't think there's massive concerns that you can have in regards to Trump and the Republicans and what's going on there, but it's used as a kind of distraction. Oh, we've got other things that we need to focus on right now, so we can't focus on this. What does that remind you of? Oh, there's other things to focus on, guys, so we can't worry about this. The difference here is coming directly from Hasan's, well, I guess it is, in the other case coming from, but with here, it's like Hasan is just directly saying it. Directly, explicitly saying it to his audience. Like, hey guys, Trump. We got too much to worry about at the moment, so don't worry about me pushing communism.
Something kind of scary brewing in America. Communism.
So yeah, I want people to think I'm Tim Pool instead, which is the furthest you can be from communism, because that's significantly scarier than Donald Trump. I want everybody to understand, make no mistake, I'm a serious person who definitely understands things. Very smart, very intelligent. Definitely not a hack-ass comedian, in air quotes, still doing 2014 memes on the timeline. Well, I'm not on the timeline anymore. I'm actually too scared to be on the timeline, so I just constantly whine about it from behind my Instagram stories, even though I'm a 50-year-old dude with like
Hasan called me stupid, so my video is bad, but wait.
Instagram stories.
His response 100% predicted, yeah. Well, I mean, are you going to respond to any of this? Or?
Even though I'm a 50-year-old dude with like 3 children, and
I bought one of my dogs, which there is nothing wrong with, but at least I didn't lie about it. Can you find me the Craigslist post where they're giving away free $10,000 designer dogs? While you're at it, ask Hasan who cooks his chicken at his house off camera. Wait, what? Has Hasan got a chef or something? Is that what he's getting at? Has Hasan got a personal chef? No, there's no way.
Spend most of my time online just crying.
Oh, his mother. Oh, his mother. Right, okay.
Most of it. What is this? What? Bro, I have not seen a single one of his Instagram stories. I didn't know he was posting about me this much.
Oh, dude, this is such cope, bro. Really? Dude, this is such cope. Oh, I had no idea, guys. As if he's not fucking looking at it constantly. Give me a break, dude. This is a guy who's fucking checking every single community that talks shit about him constantly so he knows what's going on. This is a lie. This is a total lie. Editor sweeping. Putting this in here.
Oh my God. This might genuinely be one of the funniest things I've ever seen from him. How is this not satire? I'm really stupid. Can you educate me a little on Marxism? I don't know what it is for real. Part 3. Oh my God. Every day? Every single day? Anyway, if I was one of those things, then obviously that would be really scary. You know, I'd be really scared of the rising tide of socialism and communism in the United States of America. Oh, terror. Big terror is what I would say. So that's why I'm looking like Tim Pool today, who surprisingly and completely unrelated to what I was saying. Oh my God, it's 5 a.m. out here, dude. I'm literally oblivious. I'm probably not even making sense right now. What did Tim Pool say recently? Oh, that's interesting. He said, come to the right side. Join the good side, Ethan, he said. Perhaps what I said was completely unrelated.
Right. Bro, what's that one step in the Hasan system? Where you try and associate the people criticizing you with deplorables. Oh, isn't that the guy who went on the Nazi podcast? Oh, isn't this Tim Pool that is now supporting you? Oh my God, dude. It's so transparent, man. Look at the little smug look on his face as well.
Perhaps it was completely unrelated, or perhaps, I don't know. Maybe it's not. That's not at all what Ethan said. Why are you molding them out? How do I have 12-month subscribers who are this stupid, dude? Actually, all right, I'm done. I'm not going to do this. It's for the weak-hearted. It's for the weak-hearted. It's for the weak-minded. I guess I groomed this 35-year-old adult as well into radical politics and being pro-terrorism. Platform of terrorists, by the way. Dog, I never interviewed. Well, I interviewed one IDF member, but he's a former IDF member who actually was a conscientious objector and actually went to prison for it. But I wouldn't consider.
Oh, it's actually the IDF that are the Oh my God, dude.
He's actually a great dude. His name is Dr.
What is this? Okay. Does it not feel to you like this guy is desperately trying to control the tone of his voice so he sounds like relaxed about this, when he likely is probably at least somewhat, if not very anxious about this all? Like, dude. Do you know what I mean? It's like, show a bit of emotion. He's like trying to strip away all of his emotion, but he just sounds like he's trying to do that then.
Offer Kasov. If you're the type of...
Yeah, guys, I'm not really bothered about this. You know, this is whatever. Just another day in the office for me, really. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. Pretty normal stuff. Bro, it's fine. It's fine to be emotional about something that's stressful, okay? You don't need to... Dude, have a bit of fucking passion or something in your voice.
If you're the type of person who thinks that, like, politics can only be consumed from the lens of slop tuber drama cultivated by people who have no political understanding, no political reading whatsoever, no interest, no ideological leanings whatsoever, and are just like dumbasses who are stupid enough to regurgitate Reddit posts that have no research backing them whatsoever, oftentimes coming from a sex pest's very own community, then
dude,
you are a deeply and pathetically unserious person, and therefore you probably...
Same thing again, from Reddit, related to Destiny. Same trick that he's trying to pull to try and link it to Destiny and also diminish it by acting like it's just Reddit posts. When it's like, well, again, it's not related to Destiny. And even if the clips are taken from there, it doesn't matter because the clips still show what they show regardless.
We should go and, I don't know, watch the sunset or something. This is not a crash out. They're going to clip this and misrepresent the tiredness and depressed in the content Chernobyl disaster. Yeah, well, good luck to them. It's 5 a.m.
Oh, he's just tired.
As always.
He's just tired, guys. He's just sleepy.
Always, I'm live and alive. Let's take a look at this video.
Yes, they are the big dogs. Wow, thank you.
Shout out to Whine About It.
Oh, you like Whine About It?
Yeah, shout out to Comrade Hasan.
Okay, wow.
Damn, dude, another.
Yes, feigned disinterest. That is such a good way of putting it. Feigned disinterest is exactly right.
Young boy radicalized in his prime. This This boy in China said, Comrade Hasan. Much to consider, folks. Who is this Hasan guy? What kind of scary stuff is he talking about? Really, really scary stuff. Everybody, watch out. Okay? No, I radicalized them into vote blue no matter who, Democratic Party loyalty. That's obviously what it is.
Oh, thank you.
Wait, let me do the clicking.
Yes, let me know about if there's like fun things.
In China too, yeah. Radicalizing the Chinese youth. Yeah, I personally think that everyone deserves human rights. Okay? Controversial opinion. I personally think
Bro. I just think the good thing. That's my perspective. When there's like multiple clips of him downplaying whatever the fuck it is China are doing to the Uyghurs. Right? Absolute virtue signal shit. And then giving justification for states engaging in violent expansionist policies. Oh yeah, man, I just love human rights, dude.
everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves human rights.
Unless you're Israeli on October 7th. Unless, of course, you're Israeli or at any point, really, but particularly on October 7th, then the right to peace and freedom, if you're a baby settler, is questionable.
Everyone deserves health care. I know sometimes.
Bro, what is the healthcare comment about? That's not even in question. No one has questioned or talked about your desire. Well, I say no one. People obviously disagree. But Ethan probably agrees. But why is he acting like that's in question and anyone cares about that?
Hey, listen.
Oh, also, yes, everyone deserves human rights unless they're pro-capitalism. And then we can use an enforcement mechanism, whatever that might be, to re-educate them out of their bad pro-capitalist ideas.
Sometimes
In the revolution.
you really like a apartheid state, okay? Sometimes you really feel some type of way about an apartheid state, and in defense of said apartheid state, you crash out extensively, so much so that you lose a significant percentage of your own audience because they're all like, what are you saying, dude? There are children being mutilated every day with American tax dollars for 15 months, 16 months. And
bro, genocide, children dying, bad. As if that, you know, oh, well, that bad thing is happening. Dude, you could do this with literally anything. You can point to some other bad act that's happening and act like, well, you can't criticize me for this because of this bad thing that's happening over here. You need to eat your dinner. Don't you know there's children starving in Africa?
at the end of that extended crash out, as you've become mentally unwell, you put together the shittiest video of all time. People will be like, oh, dude, what do you mean? You can have political disagreements. You can have political disagreements with your friends. It's fine. It's like, it's crazy. Political disagreements aside, like an extended year-long slow burn crash out. Spectacular. Ta-Nehisi Coates was one of the biggest confirmations for me that you are right. Yeah, I mean, but I...
What? Okay. This is where the term crash out gets massively overused. What about Ethan is crashing out? I mean, I think there's things Ethan's done, which is criticizable, certainly, and he's made mistakes. But this idea of this insane crash out that it's completely baseless. He's not crashing out at all.
I have Ta-Nehisi Coates and Bernie Sanders, you know, AOC, and then but Ethan has Caffino. Just watch the video and take some accountability. Don't be a pirate software dude. Dude, it's an
oh my god, dude. Yes. Yes. He is just, yes. It's the same shit, isn't it? Yes. It's just like pirate software. That's so true. Pirate software. Dude, why did he say it wrong as well? Anyway, that chatter is 100% correct. This is 100% pirate software behavior. And the thing is like, I'm just thinking about this as well. It's like, what would be needed? I mean, you know, there's a lot to talk about, sure. But like, could he not offer anything? Could he not say, you know, looking back at my interview, I should have, like, could he even say this? Look about on my interview with the Houthi kid, or whatever you want to call him. I didn't push back hard enough on certain points. And on reflection, laughing about the hostages dancing when that was likely being done under duress at the behest of the captors was a horrendous thing to do, and I shouldn't have done that. Like, one thing. Just say one thing that you did wrong. Or is he going to act like everything he's done is completely correct and in the right, and there's nothing... Like, just admit to doing one thing wrong. That's all you've got to do. Just one thing, bro. Just one thing. I understand this a lot. Can you not admit to fault at any point in anything you've done with this? Can you not look at that video of the yeah, exactly. The hostages being released and going, yeah, I was being way too, dude, that was me being way too, like, you know, I had a moment of madness there, or whatever you want to call it. I was really fucking stupid. Obviously, they were under duress. And if you listen, you can hear the keep waving. So clearly, like, bro, just one thing. Hasan rarely admits fault. Seems like Ethan doesn't either. What? What are you on about, dude? You are just wrong. You are plain fucking wrong about Ethan. Ethan has repeatedly admitted fault at various things that he felt he'd done wrong throughout his career. Ethan isn't perfect, okay? But the idea that these are equal, when Ethan has repeatedly admitted fault for things he's done, and Hasan can't even admit fault on anything. Do you think that the way that Hasan has handled this, everything that's happened, everything pointed in the video, is correct? Do you think there's nothing to say I was wrong about that for? Yeah, Ethan admitted to fault in the video for pushing this guy forward.
Hour and 40-minute video. Okay, can I just say something? This is genuinely, this might come across a little ableist, but you literally have an intellectual disability if you think that, like, I am fearful of watching an hour and 40-minute video made by a dude.
This might come across as a little ableist and then make what is unquestionably an ableist comment. Obviously, I don't care. I don't care about that, okay? I say retarded, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. It's just funny that, you know, he has to kind of preface it and then he just says something very ableist.
Dude who literally thought Roe v. Wade was the gay one last week. Okay,
I've even heard they want to repeal Roe versus what? Is that the gay one?
No, that's
Roe versus Wade has been overturned.
Yeah,
you're talking about gay rights.
Yeah, they want to. They want to overturn the Oberfell, Aubergine.
Like when every
bro, what? That's like nothing. Oh, so he misremembered what a certain thing was. And he in saying it, he clearly recognized that he wasn't certain and thought he might be getting it wrong, so he checked. That is fucking insane, dude. Dude, the thing is, you can forget or not know a fact about something like that, or be uncertain, but that doesn't necessarily determine, like, a broader intelligence or something like that. But he's using it. That's the equivalent of correcting someone when they use the incorrect grammar or incorrect spelling for a word. You know, when someone uses there or there incorrectly and you correct them on that. That's the kind of equivalent that we're dealing with there.
Every single child or someone with an actual child brain, a person who literally was a Yang ganger, okay? Someone who was in support of Yang gang, who...
So, okay. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with being supportive of someone who's proposing UBI? What? I don't even know how much of a support he had for Yang. But, like, this seems fine. Like, what's the problem with this?
Genuinely does not know anything about politics. Like, what am I supposed to do? Watch every crash out? You think, like, every single time?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he interviewed a popular politician during election season. Therefore, he's a Yang ganger. Okay, dude.
Slop tuber makes a video. This is actually incredibly important points. The only thing you're demonstrating is your own stupidity. Okay? There are already 100 responses to every accusation. I know. There's like, you could just go, if you truly are invested in the truth. And I'm sure there are some people. There are others who are just going to come in here and be like, well, I'm going to keep it real, man. You're just like avoiding accountability. Yeah, dude, I am pro-Palestine.
Yes, dude. So if someone is saying avoiding accountability and then he's distracting away from that. So he believes that every action he's taken that's pointed out in that video is correct. And he's not willing to concede on any single point. Fuck, dude, that is crazy. That is fucking insane. Bro, you can admit fault. You can say that you did something wrong. It's not the end of the world. Not one thing. It's... Jesus Christ, dude.
That's it. I'm pro-Palestine, okay? If that's news to you, you are the dumbest baby on the planet, all right? I am pro-Palestine. I am anti-genocide. I am someone who is a leftist, okay? I'm a leftist. I do not think capitalism is the final evolution of mankind. I think we can evolve beyond it, okay? There are literally Guantanamo Bay internment prison facilities being set up right now. And if your number one thing is your favorite 50-year-old content creator with 3 children and his endeavors for the past 6 months, you are a deeply unserious person. This literally only talks about the genocide now when it's to say there's a genocide going on.
Bro. Bad thing happening here. Can't talk about my bad behavior ever. When can you then? When can you? When can you actually make a critique of Hasan's behavior then? Because there's always going to be something terrible going on outside of America as well. So when can you actually make the comment then? God,
cynically, teenager who's only known genocide his entire life. In the middle of talking about genocide in Gaza. My argument sucks? You think it justifies genocide? What are you, stupid? Everything that can be tangentially turned into...
There will always be a tragedy or something bad happening, or something for the left at least, for less research at least. There will always be something terrible happening, okay? This makes it so that you can never be critical of Hasan's actions because there's something else happening. And, you know, now he's focused on Trump. Dude, it's so transparent, dude. Now it's Trump. But before, it was Israel-Palestine. Now, obviously, they believe there's a ceasefire at the moment, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. But, you know, so now he's pulling on the Trump card. But before, it was Israel-Palestine is happening. How could you possibly talk about this? And also, the point of this is what you're doing now, I think, if I recall correctly. It's like the idea that he uses the kind of genocide word repeatedly is a sort of virtue signal to be like, I'm against the genocide guy. The genocide is bad.
Like Jewish people are under attack is a decent way,
you know, as a distraction from being criticized,
to just like drive discourse away from open genocide in Gaza. If your sole focus when Israel is doing a complete genocide in Gaza, if your sole focus revolves around that people are saying you're a Zionist, yeah, go yell at streamers for not covering sufficiently the ongoing active genocide in Gaza instead of coming in here and chirping at me. And his entire...
Bro, how is there such little self-awareness? I mean, maybe that's more the editor putting that in, this is hasanabi Productions. But it's like, bro, you... You're doing it now. You're doing the same thing. You're being criticized for something and you're distracting to another point.
Baby-brained, moronic fan base also...
Okay, what is this?
Listen. I also like the fact that Andrew Yang is advocating for a UBI. UBI has the capacity to be a right-wing UBI or a left-wing UBI, depending on what the tax vehicle is, what the funding vehicle is for that UBI, and if it's a replacement program. And Andrew Yang, well, he raises a lot of red flags, especially in the first implementation of his UBI was a little scary to someone like myself. He's changed it since then. I also like that about him too.
What? I thought, well, okay, he's going to substantively criticizing him here. But no, he's talking about a previous prescription for this that he's since changed. Bro.
But having said that, it's still a net benefit, I think, to get Americans to come to terms with wealth redistribution, for example, or what they perceive to be wealth redistribution, even though my criticism of Andrew Yang's UBI is that it's not wealth redistribution.
So he spoke positive of Andrew Yang, but apparently it's terrible, and Ethan's a Yang ganger. Dude, this guy's just a total bullshit artist, isn't he? Every turn. Dude, how can you do this? He must know that he said this, or must have some insight that he's positively spoken about Yang Gang before. About Andrew Yang. How can he say this, dude? It's a lack of shame. I'd feel ashamed. I know it's a long time ago, but come on, bro. There's no way you can go at someone so hard when you were previously a Yang Gang yourself. At least not with recognizing that fact. If he was like, I've spoken positive, like if he said, I've spoken positively about him, but it's a bit much to do this interview or some shit, it would still be a shitty point, but at least you're then recognizing your own comments. Fucking hell, dude. That's crazy.
Also reiterate that point over and over again while they think they're making a brilliant point because they misunderstood my initial assessment of the matter, which is that when I'm watching children get mutilated every goddamn day, I think it's a pathetically selfish way to approach that conversation from the personal feelings of a rich 100 millionaire sitting in a Bel Air mansion talking about his own goddamn feelings. Okay? That's it. I still wish Ethan well. Okay? I do. But goddamn, how...
By the way, interestingly, I've seen some people literally quote that little snippet, I wish Ethan well, and that people are pushing the idea that Hasan is being gracious. And it's like, yeah, in amongst all the other shit he's saying, he said, as a kind of brief comment, I wish Ethan well. Whilst vitriolically fucking going after him at every possible angle.
Selfish, how delusional.
He's still doing it. He's still doing the thing. What about all the terrible things that are happening that aren't about me?
Stupid. To just like think that anyone outside of your marginal cult that you have whittled away over and over again is going to look at the situation and go, yeah, you know what, dude, you are actually right. You've totally convinced me that baby murder, unlimited baby murder is all right now, actually.
What? Dude, who the fuck is saying that? Who the fuck is saying that? Also, who's the cult again? You've got a sycophantic chat broadly here, right? Maybe a few people disagreeing. When Ethan used the wrong pronouns for Bo Blacks, his chat was going after him like crazy. Who's the cult again? I mean, I think if we're going to call something a cult, I think Hasan's community in chat is a far better representation of what a cult would look like.
That like people who call that sort of behavior out are all seemingly radical Islamist extremist terrorists who I will assume are being funded by Qatar.
That was good. How much we get for that? Yo, you got 10 million from Qatar for that? That's what I'm talking.
You think I'm paid? What? Yeah, I wish. 10 million? Shit, man, I take 10 million.
Okay, dude. God, Frogan is an insanely silly and stupid individual. I need to be careful here, okay? It's a bit. The idea of the joke is what you are saying is so sycophantic that it would make sense that you got paid millions of dollars to say it, because otherwise, why else would you say it? That's the point of the joke. It's not saying you definitively are getting paid $10 million. It's the only reason you could possibly be saying this, beyond just stupidity, is you're getting paid to do so. Like, you are acting like you are acting like a paid propagandist.
Or Iran or Saudi Arabia or whatever other Arab nation, because I don't have any understanding of geopolitics anyway. And they're all the same to me. Okay? Go spend time with your kids, man. Holy shit. You look crazy. You look like you're literally losing your mind. And virtually everyone can see it. Do you not have any friends? Listen to your producer.
Virtually everyone can see it. Yeah, in your community, maybe people are saying that, but broadly, that's not the response I'm seeing at all.
producers. I'm sure they have.
Like, he looks fine. He looked kind of, you know, it's this false narrative that he looks totally fucking deranged and horrible in the video. He looks fine. He looks like he's having fun. He had a good energy about him in the video.
Pulled you aside on the background and been like, hey, Ethan, can you stop doing this? It's very uncomfortable every time the camera pans to them.
Hit me with that game show. Today, my friends, we are going to play the exciting game here. You at home, play along. We're going to play. Is it Twitch or is it a terrorist?
So, yeah, trying to link it to Destiny again. Again, regardless of where this has come from, that's irrelevant, okay? The point is to highlight how absurd it is, the comments that are made on Twitch, that it's impossible to discern them from what a terrorist would say. And also, this was weeks ago too. This was ages ago. So again, clearly trying to rope in Destiny for the stuff that has been broadly discussed recently and kind of smear it by connection, essentially.
Let's take a look here, guys. Start.
I don't know who made this, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the Hasan and Osama on the front page. They need
Well, at least,
Oh,
if they're going to compare them, I mean, I'll guess.
There's a reason for it, okay? Because everyone around you thinks you're crazy, okay? God, it took this long for me to finally be like, dude, please, you're never going to get better unless you take accountability, okay? Jesus Christ, go to therapy or something. That must have felt cathartic. I mean, it doesn't feel cathartic at all, because then as the classic like cry bully behavior gets reiterated over and over again, they will go, see, he cares about this. He cares.
bro, it's just the lack of self-awareness is astounding. It's like there's an hour-long segment of him talking here, right? About this shit. And it's like, well, just ignore it then. Just don't talk about it. No, guys, just to let you know, I'm not going to watch the video. If you want to watch it, that's up to you. If you want to decide to not watch me anymore because of what's in it, that's fine. But, you know, I've got other things going on. I don't want to get into it. Okay? Yeah, you're going to get criticized for being a coward or whatever. But at the end of the day, you can just say that and move on. But it's like, he can't. He can't stop himself from doing this. He's got to talk about it. He's got to respond. He's got to mischaracterize it.
About this so much, and it's like, it doesn't bother me, man. It doesn't. You're not new to this game, okay? It's just deeply embarrassing, and everyone can see it, okay? Straight up, you went from writing a Keemstar drama nuke to being hyped up by Keemstar. Like, how stupid and malleable are you as a goddamn adult that you can be manipulated by other slop tubers, okay? It's kind of shocking. Yeah. You know, I didn't watch Ethan's video, but wow, he changed my mind with his year-long crash out. Brother, you keep agreeing with chatters who say you're giving drama clippers a reaction and saying you're right and then continuing to cover it. Yeah, I know. Because I'm a human, man. I'm a human being, okay? I'm a being. God damn it. There's only so much I can take. What are we doing here? There's only so much I can take, god damn it. What the hell? This guy literally...
Bro, this is quite long. I think I'll catch up to super chats now. I've turned alerts back on as well. It's a bit easier to manage them if we're watching a video. It's only when I'm talking that it's more difficult. Okay, so just going to take a quick pause to do super chats. Okay. Let me guess, doesn't respond. We've seen that already. Everyone should buy pit bull dogs from kennels. They're the safest breed and good around children. You don't even need to leash them at the park. That is misinformation. Don't believe PD. They're trying to get your dog to maul a kid. Hasan got blamed the F out by clips of his own extremist content. True. Thank you. Not quite dead for the $5. DSP Historical Society, is that? The $2 donos. Hasan at the country doing prostitutes again. I can't speak on that. What are they called? Comfort women in Asia, I believe. But anyway, who knows? Orange Man and use bad guys, indeed. And Dr. Sticks with the $5. But Chud Destiny told me the only way to analyze terrorism is through the socialist plight. Not sure what that means, but they give it the $5. John Luke DeCar with the $5. With that coat, Hasan looks like Inspector Essler. Rhymes with gadget. Okay. Thank you for the $5. Pyro Train thing, $5 for someone who calls other clip chimpers. Hasan clip chimps Ethan's video. Indeed. Very true. Thank you for the $5. Banana Bender. He acts like everything and superior. He acts above everything and superior all the time. Like, dude, you're supposedly a communist. Why are you pretending to be shocked by anything ever? Indeed. Thank you for the $5 Australian dollars. DSP, Historical Society again with the $2. Slop Drama. Have you even read Theory? Indeed. Indeed. Thank you for the $2. Banana Bender, this is unbearable. I'm going to pull my effing eyes out. Thank you, Banana Bender. The $5 Australian dollars. And TV, I'm so cool, bro. I'm above it all. Also, Pig Dogs. Indeed. Thank you, TV. And Isa with the $2. I'm late. Is he actually responding to criticism? No, not really. And Deep Calm with the membership. It would be insane if when Hasan is exposed for being paid by a master to spread propaganda. Sad part is his audience, probably most part wouldn't care. True.
Even though Hasan won, he is the most insecure person. You can hopefully push him to sewer slide and no, not in a game.
Okay, I disavow that comment, but thank you for the $5. I don't agree with that. And Deep Calm, yes. Sad part is his audience wouldn't care. That's true. They probably think it's based, in fact.
Had to disagree
Thank
with
you.
me
We're up to
over
date.
Israel. End of the podcast. I was so gracious to him, far more gracious than he goddamn deserves. Like, literally ends the podcast because he can't cut it. Like, he's like, I don't want to talk about politics anymore because people are hurting my feelings when I talk about Israel, and because it kind of comes across like I'm defending Israel. Okay, and then everybody goes, "Oh, you're defending Israel." It's like his whole shtick for the past year has been saying liberal Zionist talking points and then getting mad at everyone when they go, "Are you a Zionist?" And he's like, "Whoa, this is anti-Semitism." It's like, shut up, dude. What kind of moronic attitude is this? Just don't talk about politics. Just go back.
Well, okay, this is like a rewriting of history. I actually covered all this quite extensively. And the issue was that when October 7th happened, and he talks about this in the video as well, obviously, when October 7th happened, he was a very pro-Palestine person, but he's got personal ties to Israel, but he was very critical of, like, the settlements, very critical of the, very, very critical of Netanyahu and the Israeli government. So he had substantive criticisms for what Israel was doing. And when October 7th happened, he was critical of lefties that were cheering it on because innocent civilians were killed and children were killed. Okay? But say innocent civilians, right? And he was perturbed by the ferocity with which people were supporting Hamas's actions. And all he wanted was just a moment of recognition of how terrible it was what had happened. And Hasan was, very coy in terms of giving that. And Ethan really struggled to contend with that. And that was on top of some other issues, presumably, that he'd had with other comments that he'd made, That is what happened. And then, on top of that, Ethan's position led to him getting called a Zionist, despite the fact he is very pro-Palestine, which led to more frustration on Ethan's side, because he's like, well, I am pro-Palestine, and I've said this before. Now I'm getting called a Zionist because I think that Hamas's actions are egregious, reprehensible, and, disgusting. And now you are like calling me a Zionist when I'm like more on your side with this broadly. It's just that I don't think people should be killed. So anyway, that's actually what happened. So this idea that like, Hasan is trying to suggest that Ethan is reasonably getting called a Zionist for things that he said, right? But it's not true, first of all. And secondly, Ethan's frustration has bubbled up as people have, repeatedly attacked him because he hasn't constantly, full-throatedly gone after Israel, even in the midst of them having had a terrorist attack happen against them,
Talking about like gooning or Justin Baldoni or whatever new thing is happening online. You know what the most annoying part is? For a year,
Ethan's message seemed a lot more antagonistic. No, it wasn't. You're wrong. You're totally wrong. Go and look back at the original footage of it. It was in the midst of it having happened. Ethan Klein was bringing up tweets and he was talking about these people saying this stuff. And he was looking for Hasan to offer more kind of criticism of it. And Hasan was very coy to do so. And this led to an escalating frustration where he felt that, his community had been infiltrated by all of these total fucking freaks. who were completely unwilling to, be sympathetic in any way, and wanted to completely, continuously, endlessly, vitriolically attack Israel, even in the midst of the terrorist attack.
I was like, oh man, I don't want to hear about this stuff. I'm sure Ethan means well, blah blah blah, and everyone was in my constantly yelling and being like, no, he did this, he did that, and I was like, who cares? He's just he's just doing whatever. He's just doing whatever. And everyone was like, no, dude, listen, he made fun of Aaron Bushnell, himself. Like, you don't understand. He's doing all this propaganda, whatever. And in that entire time...
Yes, it is correct to make fun of Aaron Bushnell killing himself, okay? This was some deranged freak who, funnily enough, watched a bunch of extremist Twitch streamers, okay, who thought it would be a good idea to set themselves on fire. And guess what happened, guys? He set himself on fire, shouted "Free Palestine," and guess what happened after that? Nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing changed. Well, the only thing that changed is he was dead rather than alive. The only thing that changed was his temperature. That's it.
Frame, I was so charitable, and I was just like, hey, I've heard the things that he said one time in 2021 about how he's pro-Palestinian, that's important, whatever. And
the way that lefties responded to that was also deranged. They were calling him a martyr and acting like he performed an act of good, and it's don't fucking say that. What are you doing? Dude, you're gonna make more people do some mentally ill freak sat at home oh, my life is worthless, I've got nothing to live for. Oh, this person's getting praised for doing that. Maybe I should go do that as well. Obviously that didn't come to pass, and people can say what they want at the end of the day, but it's just very deranged to act like it was anything other than an absolute tragedy that was funny as well, that some guy decided to kill themselves for no reason.
He did this to himself. That's what's so crazy about this narcissism. These dumbasses will be like, Hasan, you don't have any accountability. For what? You want me to say I'm sorry for being pro-terrorism or whatever kind of Islamophobic nonsense that you've cultivated over the course of the past 15 months?
So, yeah, he's making it...
Okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But how do I make money?
They give it a tip.
People?
Hasan is so disinterested and deep he can't help but to respond.
But yeah, he's obviously acting like it's absurd to in any way account for anything he's done. When he doesn't, look, I could be generous, okay? I'm not saying that he has to go and say, I'm sorry for everything I've done, okay? Although some people you would probably like that. I understand it's difficult to address being wrong about something, but could he not at least recognize that he gave a softball interview to that Houthi guy? Is that not something he could recognize? He could be more specific. Oh, there's these questions I didn't push back on, whatever. That's fine. You can recognize that. You can say that. I gave a softball interview to that guy. But he can't even say that, and he's got to turn it into some absurd thing.
But how do I make money?
They give it a super chat.
Does this fruitcake hear himself? He's dumber than a box of wet rocks.
Exactly.
Have some humility.
Yes, just a bit of humility goes a long way.
From a sex cults community? God damn. Oh, we have a bingo card for Hasan's reactions. I saw that too. And it's you just have no interest in anything real, okay? You have no interest in anything real. You will fall victim to the whims of right-wing politics, okay? If Ethan fully flipped the script and became a right-winger, then you would also do that because you are a stupid person. Anyway, I hope...
Hasan is one of the biggest political ideologues on the internet, and he's saying this. This is delusional, man.
And I mean this with genuine sincerity. In all sincerity, I hope this was I hope he got it out of his system. I hope he got it out of his system. And instead of clip chimping everything that I'm saying right now and then posting
Right,
it,
also, when it comes to Ethan, as he's flipped between different political moments in his career, his community has not all moved with him. He obviously had more of an edgy fan base, and they moved away from him as he moved towards more progressive politics, and they now fucking despise him, and often will look at any opportunity to shit on him when he gets fucked over by the woke shit. The kinds of people that were disappointed that he took down the Jordan Peterson interview will like reference the fact that Jordan Peterson said this is going to come back to bite you, for example. He's obviously cultivated some of Hasan's community and a more progressive community, and now they're upset with him, and some of them have left. Even the other day, he wasn't using the correct pronouns for Bo Blacks, and they were going off on him in chat and saying how terrible he was for not using the correct pronouns. You know,
and honest, stupid ass, silly little drama show. Okay, if Ethan wants to talk to me, he can talk to me. Okay, he doesn't have to constantly cry as a 50-year-old adult with 3 children from behind an Instagram story. Okay, you can talk to me in person, big dog. You got my phone number. We can have a conversation on your stream. We can have a conversation on my stream. Last time I had the baby gloves on and you cried like a after doing Teddy Fresh ads in the midst of our genocide coverage. Play in your position if you want.
I'll wait. I'll take over. Guys, everybody watching, go to teddyfresh.com. Black Sale Friday. Black Friday sale is live now, you guys. Up to 60% off.
Okay.
Bro. Dude. First of all, I expect that from Ethan, to be honest with you. But second of all, that came across as more like a bit. Obviously recognizing the absurdity in the heat of this very emotional conversation that you're having to shill your fucking brand. Dude. As if the people that are currently calling him a Zionist, pig dog, murderer, whatever they want to say, as if they're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go buy some Teddy Fresh, actually. But the point is, the audience were being very aggressive and very vitriolic towards him. And it's the comedic aspect of trying to sell to them.
That's right. And I'm not talking about the Leftovers episode where he actually cried. That was a beautiful moment. And I was actually very wrong for thinking that actually meant something. It turned out it didn't mean for you at all. Okay?
He does the clip chimping. Is there more context to that clip? I don't remember. Yeah, it's like a joke to break the tension, exactly.
Constantly pointing the finger at other people. Oh my God. It can't be me. It can't be the broad reception of my worldview. It cannot be the way that people understand where I'm coming from. Okay? The way people have heard the same talking points over and over again from people who are genuinely deeply pro-Israel. Maybe that was the reason why people were saying that. No, it must be because of anti-Semitism. And it's like, it's not as though anti-Semitism isn't increasing. It is, okay? And it's something that I understand. It's something that many of these people that Ethan has falsely smeared as anti-Semitic understand. So especially at a time when there's motherfuckers like Nick Fuentes, Jake Shields, or numerous other like actually anti-Semitic monsters out there who are running rampant, hyper-focusing on people who are anti-Zionist and expressly and openly not anti-Semitic is certainly a choice. But Ethan Klein apologizes for platforming Hasan Piker. Is a very funny take. Yeah, I'll debate you anytime, anywhere. All right, Ethan? If you want. All right, Ethan? The assumption that I'm afraid of you is so idiotic.
Yeah, it's like, it's actually, you know, what is quite interesting about this kind of comment is, you know, at first I thought, you know, I like the far right trying to use certain talking points to get progressives across to their side. Maybe there's some of that. But also, it's just, I think that their comments just sound the same. Their comments just sound very fucking similar. To, sometimes indiscernible.
Does Hasan accept tips and memberships and bits while discussing genocide?
True. Aye. Good point. That's actually a good point. Does he turn off monetization when he's talking about important topics like genocide? Or does he monetize that to the hilt? Which, by the way, is fine. It's fine to do that. Just seems insane that you were calling someone out for what seems to be a joke shill. You know, in the midst of that conversation. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, some of the comments, I think you could probably do a game where you put the comment of someone that's on the far right and someone on the far left in regards to Israel-Palestine. You could probably put those statements next to each other and it'd be very difficult to figure out, well, who's the righty, who's the lefty, you know?
Tell your goddamn, be honest with your fan base, okay? I'll talk to you anytime, any place.
Oh, debate.
I'm done. I'm done with this nonsense. Like these morons literally think I'm afraid of a dude who does not know anything about politics.
If someone's got Ethan's response to that, I'll throw it up. But from what I can understand, I think that Ethan has said he'll have the debate with him if he watches the video. But obviously what Hasan would hope for is that he could have the conversation and distract away from the points. Where, you know, the points of the video, like the clips and stuff like that. So I think that's the kind of goal there.
And basically just rehashed Willie Mac show and Destiny clips, dude. Like these
There
guys
it
just
is.
literally go to Reddit. That's it. And they just repeat.
Isn't Ethan just like the other enemies that you guys know? Isn't Ethan just like the other enemies you guys are already familiar with? Classic.
Reddit talking points over and over and over again. Yeah, I saw Roman also popped off. Because, dude, if you are even remotely interested in politics, you're going to look at this and go, what the fuck are you saying? Incredible video to drop in the current political climate. Fascist takeover happening in the U.S. and tons of other places. And he drops a 2-hour video.
Exactly. This is what I was saying. I said this already earlier, so I don't want to repeat myself too much. But yeah. What difference does the source make? Omega lol. It's still unedited, unfiltered clips of him saying shit. Precisely.
On the biggest threat to America is Hasan and communism. Lol.
As if once a clip gets posted onto Reddit, it suddenly loses all of its meaning. And it isn't actually just a audio-visual representation of something that happened. All of a sudden, oh, it's a Reddit clip. Oh, clip on Twitch. Good, meaningful, shows what happened. Put it on Reddit. Oh, that's a Reddit clip now. That's a DGG Reddit clip now, guys. Oh, guess it's not relevant anymore.
LMFAO even. I fully expect Ethan Klein to become an anti-woke grifter within the next 5 years. So H3H's vid on Hasan is deadass just Red Scare and McCarthyism. I actually haven't even seen anything more pathetic in my life. Bro's trying to pander the last remnants of his right-wing fan base by going after lefty boogeyman streamer right after Trump win as well, and he's doing it all so that people forget his controversial
What? Trying to pander to the dude? What remnants of a right-wing fan base? Those people left a long time ago. They were, you know, I think that I'd say that the taking down of the Jordan Peterson debate was probably the death knell for that part of his community, and they didn't want to fuck with him anymore because of taking that action and then his further move towards progressive perspectives. You know? I think that they were out at that
Okay,
point.
that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
I didn't know NFKRZ hated Putin so much because he wanted Stalin to be reanimated.
Thank you for the $5.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Thank
But
you.
how do I make
Thank you for the $5
money
again.
off depressed people?
Hit the goal for the handsome stream.
Yes, very good. Thank you.
takes. Incredible. That's what's so crazy, by the way, which is that there are a million different ways to try and hit me on like drama related shit. Why the would you try to do politics, man? You're so stupid. How
There are lots of, but that's the thing. If you did it about anything else, you'd do the same tactic. It would be exactly the same fucking tactic. And also, it's because you predominantly talk about politics, obviously. That's why people want to target you and, you know, for criticism over that.
How narcissistic of you. How unimaginably narcissistic of you to think that you can like write this brilliant, political work. Like stick to your lane, dude. What is wrong with you? You look like a clown to adults. Okay, maybe not the cultish fans that have stayed behind.
A lot of people are messaging me saying, Roman, how can you side with Hasan when, he has had terrible Ukraine takes? And I actually agree. I don't watch Hasan for his Ukraine takes. In fact, I don't watch him at all. But I do think he's a good force in today's world.
Even if so stupid about politics, why did this guy start a podcast with him? Well, I mean, for me, I think I don't know. Okay, I don't know if he perceived Ethan as being stupid before. I think this is like a post hoc rationalization. Okay, but I think the reason that he did it with Ethan is because he thought he could capitalize on his audience and he could tap into a new audience and bring them into his. And he thought that he could kind of overwhelm with his communist stuff onto Ethan's side, which seems to be, I think, exactly what's happened from what I can gather. Anyway, what was this guy saying?
Hasan
have stayed behind.
A lot of people are messaging me saying, Roman, how can you side with Hasan when, he has had terrible Ukraine takes? And I actually agree. I don't watch Hasan for his Ukraine sakes. In fact, I don't watch him at all. But I do think he's a good force in today's world. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ, dude. Just watching some guy suck you... Bro, this is shameful, dude. When I watch a clip and someone says something positive about me, I'm like, oh, God, it's so cringe. But this guy's just like smirking. Oh, dude. Ugh. Yeah, exactly. I don't watch him, but he's good. How is he a force for good? Okay, dude, this is fucking dumb.
Once again, people are getting deported, Ethan.
Someone in chat said a second ago, can't find it now, but this is correct. So
Okay,
he
that's
saw Ethan as
wonderful.
a useful
But
idiot.
how do I make
Now he's just an
money
idiot.
off depressed people?
Bro doing tricks on it. Yes, exactly true. Ethan was a useful idiot, and now he's just an idiot. So he calls him an idiot, you know?
Dropping a 2-hour video on Hasan Piker saying that Hasan and communism is actually what's destroying America today, you know? Like, please. If you're choosing between...
Bro, I don't know who this guy is, but he's a total fucking bullshit artist as well. The video is not just Hasan, communism destroying America, okay? It is that Hasan is promoting an ideology that I think is harmful as the first aspect, but then he goes on to point out the fact that he has promoted terrorist propaganda, and he's also done it on a platform that has rules against promoting terrorist propaganda, and he's not been punished for doing it. So it's the classic thing where you make it very reductive. You make it very reductive so that you don't actually give the broad criticism that's being made that you would have to engage with, you know? It's a lot easier to say, oh yeah, wow, Hasan is a communist and communism's bad. Wow, yeah, Trump's in office. How does that work? It becomes a lot more difficult to engage with it when you actually lay out what the video is actually criticizing, you know, because then you'd have to engage with the points that are being made. And I don't think that you can. I don't think you can. I think it is quite signed, sealed, delivered beyond some nitpicking of certain points. He's an old commentary YouTuber from the Leafy era. Okay. Yeah, also there's other, the rape denying, exactly. Yeah, sure.
Between Hasan Piker, who, once again, talks about real issues and is like, in my opinion, once again, a good force in this world currently, from my point of view, from where I stand. You know what I mean? Who actually talks about real issues, you know, that minorities face and so on. Ethan Klein, though, he just talks about, like,
you know what? You want to know what's crazy about this? Like, these guys, and this is what's so frustrating to me about, like, Ethan, I can't believe is a part of this group now. But there are a lot of people online, like, what is his name? Like, Turkey Tom or something. Like, that's one of those.
Oh, my dude. This guy, bro. This feigned Humegalo shit is so AIDS, dude. Oh, yeah, what's that guy called? Turkey something? Turkey Tom, maybe? Like, bro, you know who he is. You obviously know who this guy is. Why are you trying to act like you've got no clue who this guy is? It's such a fucking obnoxious thing that people like Hasan do. You know who he is, and that's fine. Why do you have to act like you don't?
Online, like Ethan, I can't believe is a part of this group now. But there are a lot of people online, like, what is his name? Like, Turkey Tom or something. Like, that's one of those guys. Like, all these dudes that have been, you know, actually leaving Destiny's orbit now after suckling on his teat for maybe the past 3 years, right? Willie Mac Show, all these flop tubers, right? Just names that I never wanted to learn. They have no interest in politics whatsoever. And to them, it's just another way to extend the algorithmic boost that they can get. That's what's so annoying about it, okay? That's what's so goddamn annoying about this process.
Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, I can understand the kind of Destiny Orbiter allegation, but again, if you want to be critical of Turkey Tom for leaving Destiny's orbit or whatever you want to say about it, you know, that's obviously fine. You can talk about that. But it's interesting how here he seems to be using it solely as a way of further connecting this to Destiny. He's not actually making a substantive critique of anything. He's just going, oh, this, don't forget, guys, this is somehow associated with Destiny. Yeah, very, very transparent efforts further to remind people, Destiny, 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 Destiny.
process is just like for them, it's just all drama. Okay, it's all drama. Ukraine, drama. Palestine, drama.
Celebrity drama or whatever. Like, off, please. What it all comes down to
he's felching the allegations. Yes, exactly.
That I just don't believe that Ethan Klein, cares about any of these issues.
Yes, that's what's so annoying about it. He doesn't. He does not. He does not. That is what's so.
Who's brought up Destiny during the drama? I don't remember Destiny being in the content nuke because Hasan is obsessed. He was mentioned at one point to point out the difference in standards of how Destiny got treated versus how Hasan got treated. I can understand people saying with the recent controversy that's a bad idea, but I don't think it really changes the point, which is that yes, obviously, there is a difference in treatment there. It was like a single Destiny clip that lasted about 15 seconds or something like that in the course of an hour long 45-minute video, an hour 45-minute long video. It's very, very telling that that is being latched onto, and then beyond that, he's trying to point out these connections which don't really exist. Even before the stuff with Destiny came out, Ethan wasn't really that connected to Destiny. Like, yeah, sure, I can even say he probably used his saw clips on the subreddit and have used those. I don't think that really matters. But he wasn't really that connected, I don't think they've even done any content together as far as I recall. So yeah.
Unimaginably annoying about this entire process. He doesn't give a single shred of about any of these issues. Okay? And it is literally ego. It's not even like a significant political disagreement, by the way. It's more so ego. Okay? That's what's so frustrating. And that's what really makes me mad about all of the people that hyper focus on this shit. Okay? It's just ego. It is a man who feels scorned. It is a man who bravely took the step online and became a more progressive person. That is the journey here. Okay? A person who had some reactionary takes, a person who openly said the N-word a million times over and numerous other slurs, saying, you know what, this is the old me. This is not the real me. Okay? I am going to become a better person. That is a person I will always admire, okay? It doesn't matter if his name is Ethan Klein. It doesn't matter who that person is.
Wait, what? Didn't he just... Okay, no, sorry. Forget that point.
I always admire someone who has the dignity and the courage to openly say, I was wrong for doing this stuff. This is not who I am, okay? Just understand, iDubbbz being a example of this, right? And it's basically this, the entire...
Great. Honestly, great that he looks up the fucking iDubbbz. Anyway, listen, we don't need to... We got some iDubbbz 10 after this, I think, so we'll wait for that.
Quote-unquote content nuke is
You're also kind of borderline teetering on what would most people say is socialism, my guy. Like,
wait, what? Let me tell you something about myself then. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't think that the capitalist organization of the economy is adequate. We don't need to have that conversation.
Also, like, the socialism thing is I think there's a disingenuous aspect to that there, because I think there was a clip of this in the video, but I'm fairly certain that when pushed previously on this, Hasan has stated that when he says socialism, he favors a Sweden-esque social democracy type system. And then that is obviously then supported by wanting to support Bernie Sanders, who also advocates for a similar system. And then I think, I do think Ethan overlooks some of the stuff, but I also do think that there's an element of Hasan playing games with this and obviously trying to soften certain aspects to maybe hide the more radical extremes of his perspectives,
But yes,
no, there's no way you believe in that. Hey, listen, I'm one of
yeah, it's very fluid. His stance on what his actual substantive politics are is very fluid. Now, obviously, people can change perspectives on this, but I think the reality is he's always been an extremist. And at times that slipped out, but it's been downplayed or looked at as a joke or a meme. But I think he's always wanted to present this front of being a socialist, but one that believes in a Sweden-esque social democratic type system, right? Maybe some sort of cooperative ownership of corporations, maybe at most extreme. At most extreme, organizing companies to have cooperative ownership.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Let me tell you something, never apologize. They don't want it, they just want to dunk on you and then criticize you when you admit a mistake. These leftists are single-cell homosexuals, never apologize and flee to Argentina.
Very true. Thank you, Austrian Painter, for the 333. You're not an extremist when you support racist remarks, though, right, Chud? Okay, yes, I am an extremist, actually.
Much as ever known to man. Like, I've already summed you up in what you make. And I sum up rappers, I sum up entertainers. Look at my guy Kai. I just did a whole little rap sheet of his thing.
Socialism is not a poverty cult. You don't have to be poor to be socialist. Even though...
Bro! I love this. You don't have to be poor to be a socialist. Now, I think this is true in that I don't think you need to be poverty-stricken to be a socialist. I think that you could be a socialist and live a decent life, right? But he's using this to kind of justify the extreme opulence and excess of consumerism that he participates in, you know? It's not exactly having an iPhone. It's not having a nice shirt to wear out, you know? It's not just any one of these things. It is buying a $1,000 Gucci shirt, having a Porsche that's worth $150,000. It's having a $3 million house, you know? True materialist, yeah, exactly.
You can still advocate for those who are less fortunate than you.
You're also kind of borderline teetering on...
There you go. What is this?
I had a terrifying vision.
Not what that means.
Had I been duped? Was Hasan...
Me, a 40-year-old child, was duped by Hamas Piker. That's it.
Bro, it's so funny how you can clip the reaction here and it's like, this is like a, oh yeah, she's so based here, right? What about all the clips where she gets totally fucking outplayed and poor Zandied and says, oh, is there evidence for this? And then evidence is provided and she's like, clip chip.
Hasan groomed me and I was a neurodivergent minor at the ripe age of 40.
It's kind of funny to have it come out the same day as the JCP tour. Yeah, these people are also so narcissistic. They, like, people that do slop shit, okay? People that do slop shit are so goddamn...
Bro, slop.
Off depressed people.
Ethan Klein is slop.
Think of the French scuba diver, Claude from Along Came Polly that screws Ben Stiller's new wife on their honeymoon lol.
I'm not sure what that reference is, but thank you for the £5 nonetheless. So yeah, he's trying to categorize this as slop. So trying to capitalize on recent discourse about slop content to refer to Ethan Klein's video as slop when Ethan's video isn't slop. It is a, you know, an edited piece, right? And this is coming from the guy, and I'm fine with this, by the way. You know, I say, if people want to call my content slop, good luck to you. That's fine, right? But this is coming from the guy who sits there and reacts to news and reacts to tweets and reacts to videos. And he's trying to fucking, you know, say that Ethan's content is slop when it's an edited piece. Dude, it's so... Dude. How do people buy this, man? You have to be so sycophantic to buy into this. It's crazy.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Slop. Yeah, I'm out. I genuinely don't think I can watch Hasan without getting irrationally angry.
No, that's fine. Once we get through this, we'll move on to some other stuff. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Narcissistic that they will unironically say stuff like, oh, well, he did that because of me or something. It's like, no, man, I set this up weeks ago. All right. Yeah. Bro, he said you hid your views the week you've been promoting, talking to the JCP. Someone, like, dude, look at my first interview, okay? Look at the first interview that I did with Ethan Klein, okay? Before
when you think ABC the diff between the two is only that Hasan is audience/lefty captured around the Palestine issue. Because the left is radical around Palestine and aren't as sympathetic/forgiving to the other side.
Thank you for the $20 Australian.
Ever did the Leftovers podcast, we had an interview. Okay? Please understand something. This is from many, many years ago. Okay, this is me. This is, I guess, a piece from his. I guess this is a piece from his video. Okay, my hiding being a communist. Okay, I had a show on the Young Turks called Agitative Propaganda. Even in these clips, there is a USSR Ushanka behind my head. Okay.
So the thing is that, you know, I do have, some perspective on this about Ethan, at the very best being completely incompetent to not recognize what Hasan was, all the way through to maybe, overlooking it, right? But I think the reality of it is that Ethan probably saw some of this stuff and probably saw it as a joke or a meme or thought it was just playing off certain themes or something like that. So, yeah. Also, that's another good point as well. So, Hasan is claiming that Ethan Klein is an idiot that knows nothing about politics, but is criticizing him for not picking up on, signs that this guy is a communist more solidly. Well, if he's an idiot that doesn't know anything about politics, is it not reasonable that he would be more likely to be duped by you and not recognize the meaning of this hat, or at least not understand the dynamic where you've got it there, you're playing with it, but you're acting coy on stream about it, you know? It's pretty obvious, even to Hasan, that H3 was a relative politics normie who wanted to hear him out, yeah? But also, this is the... Dude, Hasan is so dishonest. This is the game that he has played for his entire career. Advocating for Swedish-style social democracy, but then having all the trappings of being a communist. In fact, wait. Wasn't this a thing? Wasn't this a thing? No, it wasn't with... To be fair, it wasn't with Hasan. I'm thinking of that time that Mike from PA debated Richard Lewis. And Richard Lewis was pointing out how the text that he used was the Soviet-style text or something like that. So I guess it's not really about Hasan, so we can't really use that point against Hasan. But it's the same dynamic at play there, where you're putting the trappings of more extremist politics on your stream and in your content, and then being like, oh no, I'm just a social democrat, guys. Bro, there's the clip of him saying and talking about using this as a tool to the pipeline to get people through to more radical lefty politics.
Was I being manipulated this whole time?
There is a bust. There is a what is it called? A Matryoshka doll of Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. That's Che Guevara.
Bro thought that America does... Okay, so, right. So this is another dishonest tactic that people are using. Right? Ethan Klein is not saying that he thought Hasan Piker was a liberal. Okay? That's a lie that's being perpetuated. What is being said is that Ethan Klein thought that Hasan was someone who supported a social democracy-like system like Sweden. So he was on the left. He could even be classified as a socialist, but along the lines of a social democracy or democratic socialism, worker control of businesses or something like that. Right? Exactly. It's the same thing that the right more predominantly used to do, where they'd act like they were a small government conservative, and it turns out that they've got, insane racial-based takes. That American foreign policy take entails more than democratic socialism, you know this. That's the point. Ethan saw some of this stuff as a joke, right, and overlooked it. And he's now come to the realization that, oh shit, he does mean some of this stuff.
Off depressed people.
BRO, look at all the tiny stuff behind me. Never mind my words.
Thank you for the $5.
That is another USSR Ushanka behind my head. Okay? What the are you saying? What the absolute are you saying? Either you are
also, did he play this clip?
That's even in these clips, there is a USSR Ushanka behind my head. Okay?
Was I being manipulated this whole time?
There is a bust. There is a...
Right, unless it's been edited, he pauses the video there.
What is it called? A Matryoshka doll of Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. That's Che Guevara. That is another USSR Ushanka behind my head. Okay? What the are you saying? What the absolute are you saying? Either
does he play the rest of the
you
clip?
are being disingenuous and acting like there was something sinister afoot, okay, and that there is something that is sinister about being a socialist anyway, which is a ridiculous position, by the way. I think like there's nothing sinister about being socialist. All right. Ironically enough, the other person whose doll is behind my head, who has this artistic work behind me depicting him as a punk rock guy, also calls himself a socialist. Just, you know, the person that I interviewed a couple weeks ago before I left.
Yes, exactly. That's the point. Bernie Sanders advocates primarily for a Swedish-style social democracy in America. Okay? So you could use the word socialism to describe that, which is what you've done. And it acts as a cover to more extremist views that you have. And now you're pointing to random detritus in your background and saying, well, look, the Marx thing and the fucking Lenin thing should prove to you that, well, that's the whole point, isn't it? You're hiding behind an image of being a democratic socialist, or socialist, whatever you want to call it, social democrat, whilst having these more extremist politics in the background. That's the criticism that's being made. And in fact, I'm pretty sure this clip makes it exactly clear what Ethan is talking about. Does he even play this clip?
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make
think he does.
money off depressed people?
We'll see.
Lenin was a pussy and Stalin was a mouth breather. Hasan, both of these men would have sent you to a death camp because you are Turkish and brown. Chud, steaks in Argentina are great, so is the Pilsner. Come have a vacation with your favorite uncle.
Thank you for the tip. So Ethan's defense is a major dimwit who can't recognize basic political... Yes. Yes. Unlike Hasan, Ethan is willing to be, you know, gracious enough to admit that he was stupid in how he went about dealing with Hasan for not noticing this stuff. Right? See, this is the thing that a Hasan fan can't understand, is being gracious enough to go, I was wrong, I didn't realize what this meant, I misunderstood who this person was.
For Japan, the question that is on every...
It's like so bizarre that people can't understand someone admitting that they were stupid and wrong. Oh, what? So his defense is he was stupid and wrong? Yes, that is exactly correct. Yes, he's admitting that he was stupid and wrong. I know that's fucking alien to you because you watch Hasan, but sometimes, right, when you are stupid and wrong, it's okay to admit that you're stupid and wrong.
Everyone's minds is like, there's two things here. There's two outcomes to this. Either you are the dumbest person on the planet and just...
It's not a defense, bro. Dude, bro, it's so... I know I'm getting one guide right now. Does this not summarize the Hasan perspective? How is that a defense? That's the point. Ethan isn't trying to defend himself from associating with Hasan. He isn't trying to defend himself. He's saying, I was stupid and wrong. Something that you'd never hear from Hasan's lips, okay? That's the difference, and that's where you're getting this wrong. You're thinking, well, how is that a defense? It's not meant to be a defense. It's an admission of fault. Something Hasan has not done at any point whatsoever in his response here.
Whenever I described my political worldview, it just like went in from one ear and out the other. No bus stop in there, okay? No pit stops in there whatsoever. It was just like information coming in and out, okay? Nothing in there. Just an empty hallway, all right? You just did not retain anything that I told you, and you were like, I thought you were like a, you know, kind of progressive, vote blue no matter who type Democrat. What is going on?
What?
And if that's the case, then you have no business doing political...
That's not what... Bro, that isn't what Ethan said at all. He's making... Bro, he is literally making shit up. He is literally making it up now. He's making up what the criticism is. He's just making it up. Oh, you think he's a vote blue? No, he never fucking said that.
Commentary, okay? Because what are you saying? Like, what do you mean? You're just like ill-equipped to have this conversation. You've openly demonstrated that.
I consider myself a liberal, but in the American political lexicon, I guess like I'm super liberal. That's what they, that's what Americans think liberalism is. Like the more
the more left you are, the more liberal you are, even though there is a genuine distinction between the leftist and a liberal. But yeah, I'm progressive. I guess that's the catch-all term.
I like progressive.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to be progressive? It's in the name. We're progressing.
Yeah. Well, that's why like early stage classical liberals who like wanted to rebrand, like Dave Rubin, for example, who now are very openly on the right and like everyone knows it. They originally tried to say like they're the real progressives, and that the people who brand themselves as progressives.
What is this meant to show exactly?
People like myself.
Let's hear it out. Maybe there's more context.
Actually regressive.
George Soros and Google. He wears jackets that say "bash fascist."
I'm sorry, I got to stop again. Bash. What is wrong with hating fascists? I just don't understand that point. Bash. Yeah, I mean, aren't we supposed to hate fascists?
Has a club in his hand.
We're supposed to hate fascists as Americans.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it. And then
so it's obviously trying to reference the fact, okay, that dude, this in and of itself is not signaling super hard. Okay, here's the other thing too. Ethan is characterizing a lot of these stuffs as jokes and memes, okay? On top of that as well, he is saying to Ethan, I am like a liberal, but a super liberal. I'm like a social democrat that wants Swedish-style politics. Right? And then this is being shown, and Hasan isn't explaining this or making clear what this is. This could easily be interpreted as, oh yeah, cool guy who talks about, you know, lefty stuff, bashing fascists. What about this? On its face makes it clear that Hasan Piker is a fucking hardline communist. There's nothing here that demonstrates that he's like a hardline communist. I know that there's obviously certain themes that I could pick up on in looking at this, in thinking like, oh, yeah, that could be, you know, some of this stuff does give the hint. Like agitated propaganda. The term agitprop alone, bro. Okay, so we're saying that Ethan is stupid and doesn't know about politics, but we're expecting him to understand what agitprop means. We're expecting him to know what agitated propaganda is, and that is a more hardline lefty concept. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways that Ethan Klein is a remedial that doesn't understand politics, but then he should also immediately understand that agitprop means hardline leftist politics.
People who brand themselves as progressives, people like myself, they were actually regressive.
George Soros and Google. He wears jackets that say "bash fascist."
I'm sorry, I got to stop again.
And this is on top of him saying what he is directly, and then the conversation moves to talking about bashing fascists. What is this supposed to prove? None of this demonstrates that Ethan should have necessarily been fully aware. I think that Ethan overlooked stuff, definitely. And I think he should have questioned this more. But this doesn't demonstrate that Ethan conclusively knew that Hasan Piker's politics were more extreme when he's just said to him, oh yeah, I'm basically like a liberal. I'm basically like a fucking liberal. And Ethan didn't even say that. He said he thought he was a social democrat, which is exactly the image that he's presented.
What is wrong with hating fascists? I just don't understand that point. Yeah, I mean,
bro, it's very obvious that Hasan is trying to present a certain image to Ethan here to downplay the extremity of his politics. And now later on he's going, well, you should have known my show was called Agitprop. As if Ethan is supposed to know that that demonstrates that's more of a communist aspect to his fucking views.
To hate fascists?
Has a club in his hand.
We're supposed to hate fascists as Americans.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it. And then they'll say like Antifa is the real
This is not in his content nuke, chatters. This is just our first ever on-camera conversation.
What is okay? What difference does it make? How does this meaningfully change anything? What extra context is being provided here that would allow us to change our perspective on its inclusion in the content nuke?
Okay. The reason why I suspect someone spliced these two things together is because they wanted to show how fraudulent and how idiotic this is. Okay.
What's
for Ethan to
fraudulent
be like,
about
I was
it?
duped. I was groomed into believing radical politics by this big scary man. When even before,
Bro, dude, the argument is that you downplay the extremity of your politics to placate a more normie audience to bring them in. How does that change this argument?
before we had a podcast together, I never sheltered him from my true opinion. I even say it there. I'm like, I wouldn't consider myself a liberal, but in American politics, because people's false understanding of liberalism, they would say I'm a super liberal. Okay?
Yeah, but you're not saying you're a communist. You're saying you're a super liberal. You're using soft language to describe it and then you go on to talk about how you favor a Swedish style, country. God, dude. And he says you say you're a progressive as well. You say you're a progressive, a term they're comfortable with. God, this guy is showing you the lies to your face and trying to twist it and act like it's not a lie, actually. I was being honest with you. Why didn't you call yourself a Marxist? Why didn't you call yourself a communist? Why didn't you call yourself the more extreme terminology for your ideology? It's because he wanted to present a softer image to them in order to do this fucking plot to soften, to bring people in for the more extreme politics down the pipeline.
So what's really interesting about this entire process, despite the fact that I have a literal like Lenin bust behind me, a Che Guevara bust, and a USSR Ushanka behind me, okay? And also prominently display other famous leftist political figures, revolutionary political figures, and also Bernie Sanders, who is himself a socialist.
How do I make money?
Bro, he's a social
I can't believe Ethan didn't include this. I now support the hijacking of random boats.
Thank you for the tip. Bro, Bernie Sanders calls himself a socialist, but advocates for social democratic policies. You could argue he's doing the same thing as Hasan, but he's not Lenin. He's not comparable to fucking Lenin, despite what the fucking rightoids say.
Okay? And go through the minutia and the process of explaining to him over and over again what my political worldview looks like. He just...
Yeah, my position on this, I said this yesterday, so I can't remember exactly what I said. Ethan should have known. Ethan should have known, right? Ethan should have known. He's long enough in the tooth that he should have known. But it's also true that Hasan misrepresented and was dishonest to him in order to present a softer image. So he was also misled.
Guess either A, forgot what that conversation looked like and how that took place, or B, a second thing, and is cynically trying to present it as though I was secretly hiding the truth. Okay? I was secretly hiding the truth.
Real fascists. Okay, then still bashing the fascists in that circumstance is still good, no? Like, I don't get it.
I thought fascism was
no
like the
sense.
antithesis of everything America stood for.
Yeah.
But apparently...
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. Okay, I'll try not to pause, but there's just packed full of stuff.
Turk. They tasted the blood of 1.5 million Christian Armenians, and they'll taste man flesh again. What the f***? If they have their way.
I think he said he thought you were a dem sock like him. First of all, he's not a democratic socialist.
Bro, it's so crazy that he's not even watching the original video. He's watching, like, this clip. Which, like, what? It doesn't really change anything. Nothing that's being said changes the analysis, which is you downplayed your politics and used softer language to refer to it. Also, Alex Jones is correct.
Ethan is barely a social democrat. Okay? What are you talking about? There's a distinction
Who's got the link to Ethan talking about what he's going to do? Can someone link it to me?
Democratic socialism and social democracy. Social democracy is pro-capitalist. I often will openly state that in a place like the United States of America, it is a reactionary shithole where there's no class consciousness whatsoever, that where, you know, social democrats are seen as radicals in this country, okay? And they're still in line with improving the material conditions of the working class in the United States of America, okay? You told Ethan multiple times that you wish...
Wait. Dude.
Clips like this where Hasan is explaining how he's hiding his power level to funnel in normies into radicalization.
I think that in the short term, in order to combat against that, you have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda. You want America, in the way that I feel about it, and if you want America to get out of the way for places with more revolutionary potential to do what they would normally do, I think that, you know, one thing you have to do is advocate for a lighter form while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond, you know, social democratic ideas.
I just wanted to put emphasis.
Yeah, so this demonstrates that he's explaining what he's doing on a platform where there's a more favorable audience. And I don't know when this clip is from. Presumably it's from more recently, I would guess. But yeah.
On the exact point of the so-called radicalization funnel, where, for example, Hasan and JT catch them while they're young, as they say, and then they start looking into this new idea, etc., and then move forwards through the funnel, get more and more informed, get more and more radicalized. You do your part in the funnel for the cause, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're doing, in my modest opinion, a great thing for the cause.
Now listen to Hasan during our very first conversation lie to me about how he's a social democrat to hide his power level.
Yes, exactly. The point of this is he's being dishonest, he's hiding his power level, and that's exactly what he goes on to do. But they strip away the first initial context of this, and they talk about this, and then point in the background and go, well, what about this? Yes, that's the point.
We should move towards a Sweden-style economy or a Norway-style economy, which would be a social democracy.
You have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda.
With robust
Wait! Is that in the clip that he's watching, or did they clip that out?
Safety
nets. Or
nets.
they use different clips?
Radicalization funnel, catch them while they're young, as they say.
And protections for workers, like higher unionization rates.
A lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond social democratic ideas.
Hell, he's proclaimed it loudly that he is a
Bro, so they've just gone to the original interview and they've stripped away the context of the point that's being made, which is obviously, as we're talking about, being dishonest about his views to trick people essentially through the front door to enter this kind of pipe. Dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. So strip away the context of the video and make it seem like you're substantively addressing the point when you're not. God, this guy's so fucking dishonest, bro.
Issue hid being a socialist. That's the other problem. That's the other issue. I've told him before, but that's not my problem. I'm sorry, man. If you don't understand the difference between a democratic socialist and a social democrat, how the f is that my fault, dude? I've explained it before. Like, what are we doing here? How, dude, I'm sorry. In the year 2025, we're not doing that. Okay? In the year 2025, we're not gonna let other people's misunderstandings become everybody else's problem, because that's ridiculous. I just jumped in, but didn't this all start because of Gaza? Seems like there were no problems. Yes. No, literally, that's it. People were ruthless to Ethan, okay? It's true. They were. It's true. There were a shit ton of people that were saying some unhinged shit, all right? They were for a year. And there's also a real threat of rising anti-Semitism that's happening in that same time frame, okay? But the problem is, like, while that was going to happen, because there's always a rise in anti-Semitism whenever Israel goes around and says they're killing children for Judaism falsely, right? Turning around and claiming that I'm the reason why all of these people were actively radicalized in the direction of anti-Semitism, mind you. When I spend so much time combating anti-Semitism, so much time educating people on dog whistles, talking about historic fascism, talking about anti-Semitism as a canary in the coal mine of fascism. Like, that's what's so insane about it. It's like, especially coming from a person who knows me, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. He featured a Sneeko fan, anti-Semite stalking E, and blamed it on you.
Wasn't she in the IDF?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Mandatory service.
That's sad. That's terrorism, bro.
She was born there.
That's sad. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly. Bro, you're ugly. You look like a. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
I'm so sweaty.
I love you, bro. I have to interview you. You're like you're my hero, bro. I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay in that one. Hold on.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hold on, I think I look gay in that one. Hold on.
Okay.
It's a funny thing about me.
Yeah, that weirdo clout shark dating coach cryptocurrency guy that was annoying us at the goddamn Palestinian encampment at UCLA. Okay, I spent most of my time avoiding that dude when he tried to be on camera when he found out how many people were watching.
The point was, this was a fan of yours. An annoying fan from the sounds of it. But a fan nonetheless, right? Dude, it is just such dishonest tactics. Wait, what is this?
Of reality. You're describing
the podcast clip. Is there anything else here?
We're literally live right now.
Yeah. Yes.
How many viewers?
A couple. A few.
Few?
Yeah.
Like what, 30?
Probably more than 30.
Really?
Yeah, I would say more than 30. Yeah.
Dude, guys, my YouTube channel is at Dating and Money. Please subscribe. At Dating and Money. I talk about Palestine
Dating
on
and
there.
money.
Yeah.
Dating and money.
I talk about Palestine on there.
Ethan, on the other hand, I think had him on his stream.
What does that yes, a fan could be a clout shark as well. What you'd need, I would immediately completely change my position on this. If there was a clip of him saying like, yeah, I was just doing that to troll Hasan. I'm not really a fan of his. I actually like Sneeko more. I would be like, okay, fair enough. I'll take the L, take a massive L on that because I thought that was quite, convincing, right? But like, this doesn't really change. What extra context is added? Oh, he was annoying. He was an annoying fan, as if they don't fucking exist.
Why? Possibly to make a mockery of like the Palestinian cause by presenting some
fan doesn't know how many viewers. Oh well, obviously, he's saying that as a joke, isn't he? He presumably knows that Hasan gets a lot of viewers, so he's just saying it as like, oh, what, you only got 30 viewers or something.
Random douchebag as like the formative pro-Palestinian voice. Remember when that rando came up to us at the UCLA encampment and we avoided him the entire time? Noticeably uncomfortable that he was just like occupying space over and over again. What is this? Here's irrefutable proof that Ethan Klein is directly coordinating his messaging against Hasan with Destiny, accused sex criminal in his community.
Oh my god. Dude. Irrefutable proof. Where's the irrefutable proof? Directly coordinating with Destiny. Again, Destiny, trying to link Destiny to this. This is not irrefutable proof just because a clip gets posted at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, he does. Of course he does. Look at this, dude. Destiny's like, thank God Ethan is like stupid enough to be hyper focused and hyper fixated on Hasan when virtually everyone, Ethan included, would normally be talking about how Destiny is sharing sex tapes unconsensually with random girls online that he wants to okay? He's like, oh, thank God. There it is. Now, it doesn't matter.
The clip was on NSF. Also, dude, Ethan has, strongly condemned Destiny's actions. There's a clip of him or a segment of him talking about it. I mean, sure, you could argue it was short. You could argue that Ethan could have gone into more detail. It was, a short segment. Sure, you could make a criticism of that, I think. Fine. But he's now trying to act like that hasn't happened when it has. And obviously, it's his desire to make this all about Destiny when this isn't about Destiny. This is about Ethan calling you out for your actions.
It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, he's getting it from sex pest in his community. Okay, here's a section of leftovers.
It doesn't have to be. Moving America to a purely socialistic society. Instead of, my thing is...
What is this? Why is H3 Productions using clearly doctored images?
Wait, what was that?
This
purely... It doesn't have to.
He's getting it from sex pest in his community. Okay, here's a section of leftovers.
It doesn't have to be. Moving America to a purely socialistic society. Instead of... My thing is...
This is when they're doing the podcast together, so presumably this is a disagreement. And this could serve, I mean, you know, I think the point that Ethan is making is as time went on and more comments were made, he became more concerned with what Hasan was advocating for, right? That to me, and he's not playing it, funnily enough. Maybe he plays it later. I'd be wrong about that. But yeah, it seems like he's having an argument with him about the dynamic of socialism, and presumably he's going to, I guess, go on to be critical of socialist stuff in America or something.
What is this? Why is H3H3 Productions using clearly doctored images?
Obviously, Ethan knew. Why are we pretending? Well, my take on it, I feel like I've said this repeatedly, okay? I can accept that Ethan didn't know the full extent of it, right? And over time, spending more time with him, he came to understand, right? Okay? So I think there is an argument that he did know a lot more and just ignored it. But I think also that could be rationalizing stuff away. That could be like, oh, that's a joke. That's a meme. He doesn't really mean that. He doesn't really mean this, right? So I think Ethan was probably coping a bit in his video, but I think it's reasonable that there were some aspects of clips and stuff that he'd seen that he wrote off as a joke, especially when Hasan was presenting a softer impression of, you know, what it was all about directly.
Vote for your favorite 2024 streamer, Rising Stars. I voted Forsen. Rising Star Award, 1227. This award goes to a streamer who had 1,000 viewers. Oh, this was they put Frogan on there as a meme because they're freaks. She was not nominated last year. Yeah, but now they got what they want. Instead of focusing on Epstein, you're succumbing to Ethan. Don't worry, I got that content nuke right here. Shouts out to Ryan Beard. Okay, I didn't even finish this Roman clip.
Ukraine or China, you know, Xinjiang, the Uyghurs or whatever. He's just using.
Also, by the way, this narrative about this content nuke somehow helping distract away from Destiny is absurd. What was it? A week plus after the initial controversy had dropped. How does that help at all? How does that help at all? Originally, it was going to come out a lot sooner. I'd heard some rumor that maybe he'd pushed it back. I can't say that for sure. He didn't say that on his show. Ethan Klein didn't say that publicly. It might have been for other reasons. But yeah, this is a completely insane cope narrative to act like this was in any way to protect or defend Destiny. Particularly when Ethan Klein has already strongly condemned Destiny in his own content.
You know, clips of Hasan saying disagreeable. So essentially be like, look at this. Communist, leftist, very bad.
You know what's really funny about it as well, specifically as it pertains to like Xinjiang or even Ukraine, okay? These are nuanced geopolitical subjects, okay? These are nuanced conversations about American foreign policy or American foreign adversaries engaging in ruthless politics, right? And I very openly criticize these things. I very openly criticize them. But you clip it, okay? Well, you can clip it in a way to be like, no, he loves it. He loves the shit. He hates the Uyghurs, okay? He hates the Uyghurs. Apparently, he was also talking about how like there is no Associated Press article, the one I was talking about. The Associated Press quietly wrote an article that didn't get a lot of coverage in mainstream media about how like, okay, well, you know, all the concentration camps have been closed now. Like all the re-education camps are closed now in Xinjiang, and it's like very different vibes in Xinjiang. And now, you know, it's the tourism hour.
Let's see what the Associated Press actually had to say about this. These are all AP articles from the last 2 years. UK independent body reports China committed genocide in Xinjiang. China sanctioned a US research firm and 2 individuals over a report about the human rights violations in Xinjiang.
It's the tourism hour. He was like, there's no Associated Press article about the re-education camps that definitely existed in Xinjiang were shut down. And it's like, dude, like that's literally bare minimum.
Also, you call them re-education camps. Interesting language.
Okay, that is bare minimum research. Like, look at this. Terror and tourism. Xinjiang eases its grip, but fear remains.
What?
This is bare minimum research, dude.
What? What the fuck? Yeah, man. This one. Yeah, wow. Yeah, this reads as tourism hour. Fear remains. Eases its grip, but fear remains. Terror and tourism. This is not close to how you represented it. That's crazy, dude. He's like, yeah, well, this is the article I was talking about, guys. How do people not fucking see through this? How do people not look at this and go, damn, Hasan is totally lying to my face. What the fuck? Terror and tourism. Xinjiang eases its grip, but fear remains. Yeah, guys, it's tourism hour.
This is his grip, but fear remains. This is bare minimum research, dude. You couldn't just Google it. You couldn't just Google it. You just went, you turned around and you said, oh my God.
Well, maybe he struggled to find it because of the way he described it was unquestioningly positive, and it clearly isn't.
Why so scared? Do I look scared? What are you talking about? You won't watch the video? Brother, instead of demanding I watch the video, demand Ethan talk to me in person, okay? Because if you think I'm fearful of Ethan Klein and his political prowess, I'm here to tell you I'm not, okay? Go tell Ethan to have a conversation with me, okay? Don't you think it's better to have a conversation directly? I thought you guys loved debate. What's happening? Are you admitting to flipping shit out of context specifically to smear? What? You think this is a own? Yeah. Linus Tech
I'm already
Tips.
kind of regretting the poop storm that is going to envelop the...
Yeah. I don't know if Hasan... I don't know what Hasan's political leanings are. Oh, wait. Here's a Linus Tech Tips video from 2021. Hasan groomed me. He scared me.
Bro, this is so dishonest. This is so fucking dishonest, right? Yes, they've used certain graphics, but again, you called yourself a socialist while saying that you advocated for Swedish-style socialism or social democracy. The point is the dishonesty of your presentation.
With his radical politics. I found the first time that fan came onto your stream. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there it is. He had no idea what was going on. He just wanted to shout out his channel. He later on asked you twice for an interview, but you say no. He keeps asking if you're a communist. Clearly not an actual fan. If the most clips are out of context, couldn't watching it add the context? Dude wants me to watch the video more than he wants me to debate Ethan. I don't understand.
Because the point is that the video has got some pretty damning stuff in there, and obviously you don't want to broadcast that to your audience. Well, to be honest with you, he should. I mean, I don't care if he doesn't watch the video. It's the fact that he's talking about it so much that it's more annoying. But it's like, he could probably just lie his way through it anyway. Sweep his way through it if he wanted to.
Why? Pothead, or pot man. Is that it? Hey.
I could, be honest, are you guys doing interviews? I'm Palestinian. I know I look Jewish. I'm Palestinian.
Oh, no, we're just streaming.
Israeli. I look like Israeli.
We're just, the guy, normally the answer would be yes, but he's busy right now.
What are you guys doing? What kind of content?
We're just streaming. It's live streaming.
Oh, live streaming?
Yeah.
Dude. Twitter, bro. You guys on Twitter?
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit, like...
Oh. Okay, I thought that he knew it was Hasan who was making a joke. So at first he just thinks they're just streamers and doesn't recognize them, presumably because Hasan isn't there, right?
So you get viral there sometimes or no?
Sure.
I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just like, I'm a content creator too, bro.
Sure.
I do content.
Yeah, my big fan, dude.
I'm trying to make content, but I don't know, like, you know? I don't know what to do.
Hasan isn't there.
Doesn't seem like this guy's a big knobby head, even though he was presented as such, weirdly enough. Okay.
Well, wait. Yeah, but you're not there. What do you mean? What is this point? Yeah, you weren't there, so we did. Bro, what? This is bizarre, dude. What are you on about, dude? You weren't there.
Okay. Hasan.
Someone could be a clout chaser and a fan. Someone could like have a chat with a streamer, then recognize Hasan as there. But oh, I like this guy. Like what?
An elderly 40-year-old. Yeah, I mean, the funniest part about a lot.
Fan doesn't know shit interesting. Well, what are you expecting him to know? That the co-stars of his stream, like, and recognize them purely off the back of that when they got masks on. You understand that a fan isn't necessarily someone that watches all of the streams. It could be someone that watches YouTube edits. They never see those guys and like Hasan.
A lot of this is that like you can just straight up watch any number of different conversations that me and Ethan have had in this time frame, and recognize that there is my brain is so fried. A list of his lies if you want. A list of lies made by Ethan Klein.
Oh my god, dude. Bro, it's so funny. I looked at this yesterday and stopped reading them because I was like, this is dumb and it's just some stupid fan shit. And now he's bringing it up on stream, dude. This list sucks.
Ethan claims communism is on the rise. From Elon Nazi saluting at Trump's inauguration to the AfD in Germany, communism is clearly not on the rise. Hasan never introduced himself as a social democrat. Hasan talked about education programs, not re-education camps. Hasan never runs full defense of China, especially regarding their treatment of the Uyghurs. Ethan shares an edited clip that cuts out where Hasan explains that he cannot control his chat from calling Ethan a racist for saying racist things. Yeah, that's another one of these annoying little parts about this back and forth and this drama, which is that like the conversation I have with Ethan ended with me saying, Ethan, there's only so much I can do.
Bro, I've just noticed as well. Dude, look at the amount of time he's talked about this. It's gone from dark to light. Bro, that is actually really funny. I hadn't noticed that. So where are we now? 43 minutes in. Doesn't care, by the way. Doesn't care about this. Isn't going to watch the video. But he's talked about it from... I think this is what, very early in the morning. Until the day. Jesus. Where is he? Japan? 5 a.m. I mean, this looks like what? 6:30, 7 a.m. sunlight, I would guess. I mean, I don't know what it's like over there, obviously, but dude.
It's like a lot of these guys, my buddy wanted to watch this dumbass video to snark, knowing damn well Ethan is a liar. Like, these people just want drama. That's not. That's it. In this time frame, and recognize that, and recognize that there is. My brain is so fried. A list of his lies, if you want. A list of lies made by Ethan Klein. Ethan claims communism is on the rise. From Elon Nazi saluting at Trump's inauguration to the AfD in Germany, communism is clearly not on the rise. Hasan never introduced himself as a social democrat. Hasan talked about education programs, not re-education camps. Hasan never runs full defense of China, especially regarding their treatment of the Uyghurs. Ethan shares an edited clip that cuts out where Hasan explains that he cannot control his chat from calling Ethan a racist for saying racist things. Yeah, that's another one of these annoying little parts about this back and forth and this drama, which is that like the conversation I have with Ethan ended with me saying, Ethan, there's only so much I can do to control the narrative in your favor if you keep saying things that people are going to interpret as you being pro-Israel. And it's not because you're Jewish. And even though,
bro, yeah, dude, see, this is the problem as well. It's not, because Ethan even said in his video, right? He even recognized that he thought people might think it's a bit much to control someone's chat like that. And I agree with that. I think that, you know, I definitely think that it's like the idea of don't look at chat, don't look at chat, don't look at chat. I do think that his fan base was being particularly insane or whatever, right? But the point is as well, not just that you didn't moderate the chat, it's that you expect other streamers to do it for you. So you expect other streamers to control their chat on your behalf, but yet you don't afford the same courtesy to Ethan, who's supposed to be your friend.
To be fair, I'm sure there are plenty of people who are like, oh, he's Jewish, and they suspect you of being pro-Israel and are deeply anti-Semitic, right? Having said that, there are plenty of people in your fan base who aren't anti-Semitic, who also absolutely made up their own minds after listening to the way you talk about Gaza. He cuts out continuously, there's only so much I can do, and leaves out that if you continue to say things like this, people are going to think you believe them and get mad at you. Yeah. Shows a random clip of someone being anti-Semitic, claims Hasan does not care about Israelis because of his lack of reaction. Hasan never justifies sexual violence. He routinely says that sexual violence likely occurred during...
In fact, we've actually got the man in question here. Let's have a look. XUC points out the hypocrisy in Hasan's community moderation versus his own.
So, when streamers have a lot of dog shit, like really dog shit, like some people saying, this guy's a fucking racist Nazi piece of shit. If after like 10 minutes it hasn't been moderated, now we know for a fact it's being let go on purpose. Okay? because the
Okay,
moderators
that's
know how to do it.
But how
Yes,
do I make
exactly.
money off depressed people?
Hey, thank you for the super chats. We love hitting the goal, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you.
They know how to filter it. They know the commands. They
Got
know
another one.
everything. So if it's not being moderated, even a little bit, where you have full hate phrases, they don't care to do it. But it means they agree with it, at least partially. That is an insider view, and Hasan will never go against me on that fact because he knows how moderation works. And over the years, you know what sucks, chat? I've been given the short end of the stick when it comes down to, dude, his chat is saying this. Our chat is tight as fuck when shit gets bad, right? And it's crazy rich that it's the people that don't moderate properly that say, dude, his chat is doing this. No, one, we are not doing this, and you are doing that. Like, that's insane. And I look bad.
This is like
I'm
2019.
fucking shocked that you don't care.
Hey, you want to know what runs rampant? Because I don't care to moderate it. Because when it came down to sly comments that are kind of memes or funny or whatever, I didn't think early on anything that would be like a bad thing. Like, oh, he's gonna think this is hateful, but then he did it. But then I was like, wait a minute. Now I'm doing people a favor that they don't even do to me. Now I'm moderating something on good faith, and I go to their chat, and where's the good faith? Holy shit! Now I was gaslit for years into giving everybody good faith, everybody moderation, everybody's locked the fuck down, and I go to their chat, and nothing is moderated at all. I'm being shit on like left and right, and that's the main problem.
Much I can do, especially
You understand that, don't you?
as someone who thought we were fucking friends. I think
Yo,
that's a
yo, guys, this will come all the way back, chat, to the Among Us era. Okay, you would go to my chat, and people would say like this guy one emote. They would say this person sleep.
He's basically pointing out that he was affording Hasan the courtesy of helping to moderate the chat from stuff that he found too much, basically. But then he wasn't afforded the same courtesy in the other direction. And it's very hypocritical of Hasan to be upset with others for asking things of his moderation for his chat when he's done the same the other way around.
Or something like that, and we moderate a lot of it, right? So some bits would come to, right? It would say, your chat is bullying me. You look at your chat, they're saying this emote. I'm like, okay. Then I end the stream, I go to their chat, I look at their live chat, right?
Yeah.
People are like, this fucking bitch ass French Canadian cunt mother sucker, let's fucking punch that piece of shit motherfucker. Yeah. And it's just, and they read it, react to it, and it just keeps going on. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute, I'm moderating an emote, and you're not moderating full phrases. What the fuck is this?
Dude. That's crazy. Okay, we've also got another clip here, which we'll, I guess, quickly throw up. Here we go.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's been like fucking almost a decade. That sort of thing I take issue with. So I do regulate my community, right? And if you think that something is like incorrect or improper that's like going on in your chat, you could do the very same thing as well. I do. As far as like gambling goes, I don't disagree with Ostenox in general, regardless, but I will never be able to control.
Wait, sorry, did I miss it? I was listening, but did I miss it?
Him, right? And if you think that something is like incorrect or improper that's like going on in your chat, you could do the very same thing as well. I do. As far as like gambling goes, I don't disagree with Ostenox in general, regardless.
Right, okay.
But I will never be able to control him. I am not in the business of like...
Yeah, I see. Okay. Okay.
On October 7th, and regularly cites the UN investigation that
we get it. Yeah, I mean,
sexual violence. He says that the sexual violence.
I think it's pretty obvious at this point that yes, Hasan is a complete hypocrite on this and will, you know, be upset and bothered by others or claim that others should handle their chat and then not handle his own.
Happened on October 7th is not a justification for genocide. There is, however, evidence. There is, however, real evidence as far as like first-hand accounts and testimony, even second-hand accounts and testimony from hostages So that part is real. That did happen, which is very important, and that was a part of the UN investigation that was conducted. Let me explain something. Assaults are a routine
Thank you for the super chat.
part of atrocities during war. It can happen, and it has happened time and time again, which is
what is sorry. Thank you.
It's like an Ottoman emperor expecting his memes to roll out the red carpet.
Thank
Hasan Osmanagulu, Istanbul is Constantinople again. Orthodox cross.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but thank you for the super chat.
genocide. There is, however, evidence. There is, however, real evidence as far as like first-hand accounts and testimony, even second-hand accounts and testimony from hostages. So that part is real. That did happen, which is very important, and that was a part of the UN investigation that was conducted. Let me explain something. Assaults are a routine part of atrocities during war. It can happen, and it has happened time and time again, which is why there is a likelihood that it could have happened on October 7th. This is a position that I've maintained since October 7th. There were plenty of atrocities that occurred on October 7th.
So there's a comment there. I mean, sure, I'm sure there's times at which he is, you know, and I don't. The other problem that you've got as well is the timeline that exists. So at what point in the timeline are we admitting to some of this stuff? Because it seems like there is a lot of skepticism that Hasan has thrown at various points. And if it's like the last possible moment that you're finally admitting, like, well, yeah, that probably happened, if everything's there. But even in this statement, he's hedging it a bit. He's saying could have, likelihood, right? He's not firmly stating, you know, well, yeah, rapes, you know, there's a very, very high likelihood, like 99% chance that this happened, you know?
Okay, that are akin to acts of terror. Hasan never said that Israel should let Hamas enter Israel unrestrained. Dude, it's, for the record, easiest like 500,000 view video of your life.
So he's not even like, it's not even clips of other people watching it. He has just got a bunch of things that someone has said in the Reddit about it and is responding to that instead, and is using that as a jumping off point. Dude, this guy is such a dishonest wretch, man. It's crazy.
If you just like look at all of the clips that Ethan used and go on Twitch, go to the VOD and extend the clip by like 30 seconds and just be like, this is the full context. Here he is responding to a chatter. Actually, this is not his opinion. This is clearly something that he's responding to that he's reading in chat. Okay. Or this video was clipped to make it seem like, Hasan is advocating for this position when it's actually the exact opposite position he's advocating for. You know, it's like a lot of these guys.
Well, then show that. Oh, there's no context. There's more context. Well, show it then. Show us what the extra context is that changes these clips. It seems like the editor is working overdrive to try and make that happen, but why doesn't he do that?
My buddy wanted to watch this dumbass video to snark, knowing damn well Ethan is a liar. Like, these people just want drama. That's not. That's it. Genuinely, no. People watch this nuke. I know. The only part about this that's like frustrating though is that there are well-intentioned people that are duped in this process. There are well-intentioned people that will get duped in this process. People who are just like kind-hearted liberals who are probably open-minded to the way I see the world, and if given the opportunity, would recognize that the things that I advocate for, they also agree to. Right? They'll see this video and go, oh, this guy's a dangerous, like, terrorist lover who loves terrorism. He wants to do terrorism. For example, the fan clip, literally 1 second later, he asks you for an interview and you walk away because the vibes are off. Yeah, it's just like really silly stuff like this. There's only so much I can do in terms of like stopping the flow of criticism coming your way when you present yourself a certain way to the broader audience and you don't actually show the audience like what the full. If you just want to have a debate or combo, then why did you ignore his messages? Basement dwelling gremlin. Wait, what? Dude, what are you saying, brother? What are you saying, big dog? The last message I sent to him, he did not respond to. Okay?
They're going to need to, okay. Ethan Klein, hopefully Ethan reacts to this or talks about this and leaks DMs, because we also need that. Not just because I want the drama out of it. It's also because, well, yeah, we need to understand what happened then. There's a disagreement about who stopped messaging who and whatnot. So we're going to need the messages.
to just like publicly spiral out of control in a way that like virtually everyone, with the exception of the bottom feeding drama lovers, the bottom feeding drama perverts can recognize. Actually, you probably recognize it too. You just want to extend the crash out because you don't actually care about Ethan and his well-being either. Okay? That isn't what Ethan said. Can you please prove that? He did. He admitted it. Okay? Disprove Ethan's malicious lie. He did. He openly admitted that when I texted him about talking to Sam Cedar, he said that it was actually anti-Semitic of me to suggest that.
There is not a single dissenting voice with his fucking straight up radical, anti-American, anti-Semitic.
You want some of this? You want some of this?
Bro, dude. Now I'm going to breach one of the most classic laws of the internet and make a Hitler comparison, okay? But does this not come across like the picture of Hitler with a dog? Wow, it just so happens at the time this drops, he's doing some weird shit wearing a maid's dress in Japan with a fucking capybara or whatever the fuck it's called. Like, dude, what? So what? It's just this false narrative that Ethan is just raging out all the time, constantly about this. When he's done other segments, talked about other stuff too. That's all he's done. And Hasan is just, you know, completely unaware, having a good time in Japan. And the audacity of this motherfucker to play this when he's in the middle of a fucking hour-long Spurg sesh about the video. Come on, dude.
Okay. Let me give it to you.
Pro-China, pro-Russia, pro-terrorism takes. This is fringe, psychotic. It is not normal.
Like, it's so dishonest because it's like, yeah, sure, he's doing this now, but what about the clips of him doing the things that Ethan is talking about? They do exist. They are there. But you've decided to interject with clips of him doing something relaxed and fun to try and paint this false image of like, well, how could this guy possibly, look at him, he's got a little cute animal with him.
And it is the only acceptable voice on Twitch. Explain that to me. How is there not one dissenting voice on that entire platform?
Mushroom.
Yes.
Oh, mushroom ears.
Nobody. There is
the notion that like I have no political opposition on Twitch is a funny one. Okay. You know, since Asmongold is currently the largest political content creator on this platform, and he disagrees with me vehemently on political issues. Isn't that the world that you wanted, Ethan? After all,
I mean, I don't know if Asmongold. I mean, to be fair, he has pivoted towards more political content, but he's kind of retarded. No, I mean, I don't know. I think it's, you know, he's not a political creator. He's a creator that talks about politics. Well, to be fair, quite a lot of the time now. But he's not a political commentator, really. I think his political videos are more to placate a certain audience rather than, you know, anything else. Dude, his political videos fucking suck as well. Don't they all just fucking throat Trump constantly? I've not actually caught up on what he's going on there, but from what I gather, it's a lot of... Oh, here we go. This is it. I mean, you know.
Okay, that's wonderful.
React video.
But how do I make money
plane crash.
off depressed people?
Guys, I cannot be a bad guy. I fed a capybara. Look at its nose. It is clearly specific ethnicity.
Dude. Yeah. He's a commentator that sometimes talks about politics. I don't think it's really reasonable to call him a political commentator when it's mixed in with a lot of other material that is nothing to do with politics at all. Culture war slop here. Anyway.
Since you constantly cried about me being anti-Semitic and trying to get me banned before the election, I actually was blacklisted on Twitch. Okay? I was. Famously, on election night, when I had 314,000 people on my broadcast watching in real time, I was actually blacklisted. So people had to directly click on my link or click on my my Twitch page to find me. I was not being shown to people that were just going on the platform for the first time.
What? Wait, what? Is this him trying to make some point about having like a substantive consequence for... Bro, other motherfuckers would have been banned for the shit that you did. What, dude? This is crazy. Oh, they put in place a structure for the entire platform because of my misdeeds, so that I can continue streaming. That's actually a really bad consequence for me, tantamount to getting fucking banned.
Nobody. There's
the notion that like I have no political opposition on Twitch is a funny
I went
one.
back too far. Sorry.
Okay. You know, since Asmongold is currently the largest political content creator on this platform, and he disagrees with me vehemently on political issues. Isn't that the world that you wanted, Ethan? After all, since you constantly cried about me being anti-Semitic and trying to get me banned before the election, I actually was blacklisted on Twitch. Okay?
Blacklisted. Oh my god, dude.
You robbed over 300k viewers of my greatness, dude can get banned.
True. They give the $5. Also, this is not getting blacklisted. That's not getting what? That's not getting blacklisted. This was set up in order to enable advertisers to opt out of this type of politics to try and to try and deal with this apocalypse shit that was happening. I don't see how this is you getting blacklisted. Getting blacklisted means your content is not provided at all, and a black mark is put against your name on the basis of your name being what it is. Like, you could have done other content if you wanted to, but you decided to do political content, and in order to adhere with the rules of the platform, you had to stream in this category.
I was. Famously, on election night, when I had 314,000 people on my broadcast watching in real time, I was actually blacklisted. So people had to directly click on my link or click on my my Twitch page to find me. I was not being shown to people that were just going on the platform for the first time on election night. You know who else? You know who was, though? Asmongold. That's right. Asmongold was being served to every single new Twitch viewer that was coming on the platform as
the serious political commentator who is very smart and correct was dating a corn star before streaming and had a gossip show on TYT.
True. Think of the super chat. Well, Asmongold said something that broke the rules. He got suspended for 2 weeks, and he was very remorseful about it, and then came back after being punished. You were not remorseful about anything, received no punishment, received no ban. And so if the consequence of that is that you don't get served, I mean, yeah, that sounds completely reasonable to me.
Premier political broadcaster. And since then, he has grown tremendously, and it's great for him. He was on the front page on election night. He was on the front page on election night, just like you wanted, Ethan. You said you wanted political opposition to me. Well, there was political opposition to me on election night, and every day since then, as a matter of fact. So much so that Asmongold is a more popular content creator than me in general. He's always been. And now,
they give the membership.
He is the largest political content creator on the platform.
And Kinsey celebrates 1 month of membership. Sniff, sniff, I was shadow banned / cry.
True, thank you.
He's just keeping the status quo alive and, making sure that we send 10 more billion to Israel. Just got to be quiet about your support for it. I don't know, guys.
Ethan Klein
what?
Content nuke about Hasan, and it is nearly 2 hours of McCarthyist drivel spewed by a man with seemingly an increasingly loose grip on reality of...
Yeah, the funniest part about this is
why do I care what some little kid has... Why do I care about what a kid has got to say about any of this?
Like, even though this is obviously awfully sourced slop, okay, which...
Look what a literal child has got to say about this. I don't care what a child's got to say.
Basically rehashes the same fake drama that Redditors have mostly clipped out of context. Very dedicated Reddit community comprised of a sex pestiny cult leader who has his own personal bone to pick with me. Okay, just watch videos that are people reacting to it. I am not going to watch the video. I will, however, talk to Ethan directly if he wants my attention that bad. I know that you want me to watch the video. I know that he really wants me to watch the video. But
yeah, obviously, once again, trying to associate with Destiny. None of this has anything to do with Destiny in any meaningful way. Just another attempt to try and smear Ethan by a connection that doesn't even fucking exist. And yeah, I mean, obviously, again, if you don't want to watch you don't have to watch the video, but it's reasonable that you would have to watch it to speak to Ethan because you need to understand what he said about you before you can, go about it that way, right? So yeah, this just seems like more cope to like not engage with the points made in the video.
I'll just debate him. If he wants to have this conversation, we can have
it.
Bro,
do you know what's so funny as well? Dude, what is so funny about this? Destiny is mentioned once, and there's a single clip of him to make the point that Twitch are inconsistent in how they apply their standards. And yet, in this 1 hour segment talking about it, how many times has Destiny been brought up? It's so fucking obvious that they're trying to do this smear job of, oh, this is actually related to Destiny. It's like multiple times, way more than it. There's way more time dedicated to Destiny in the response than in the video itself.
Oh, and he said nobody knows where these guys are. Oh yeah, they recently released the crew of the Seas cargo ship Galaxy Leader after the ceasefire was implemented. So the idea that nobody knows where these guys are is also silly. Once again, this is just such bad, like it's slop. This is what slop is, okay?
Also, he's trying to dismiss the entire video by pointing to something which arguably is a mistake or arguably is maybe happened later in the day to us not be included in the video. If you want to be, nitpicky, yeah, Ethan should have maybe done more to include this, but it doesn't really change the thrust of the video. It doesn't change the fact that your coverage was dog shit and Ethan was correct to call you out for that.
Okay, when you don't actually do your due diligence, when you don't do your due diligence,
born with a golden spoon and his head up his ass huffing his own farts. He is spoiled and entitled and acts like the world owes him fame. Worthless Nepo baby.
Thank you for the tip.
And you literally just like stamp all of this nonsense that you found on subreddits that are obviously geared in a very specific direction, and you just don't even Google something. Like, this isn't meticulous research, dude. Okay? This is not meticulous research. It's not. He did say it directly, actually. In the video, he directly complains about Epstein being banned off Twitch and defends Dan Saltman.
Clip of the streamer Destiny. He was permanently banned for what he said here.
That community is never worth engaging with. There's just no point in doing it. Like, it's too the risk of me ending up getting.
Okay, thank you very much for the tip, dude. Okay, again, they're stripping the context out of this. It's not just complaining. The point is not Destiny is banned, that is bad. The point is Twitch have indefinitely suspended Destiny for behavior that Hasan is engaged in and received no punishment for. That's the point that's being made. It doesn't matter what the streamer is. The point is Twitch are inconsistent.
Getting permabanned and my life destroyed because of these inbred disgusting losers is it's just not worth it. It's just totally not worth it.
Yeah, which is also wild. I'll say this much, okay? As far as
Bro! God, dude, they're so dishonest. Clipping out the rest of the fucking video where it makes it clear the point just to show how dishonest this is. I know we've watched it. Thank you for the super chat. I know we've watched it, but here's this just to show you why this is so dishonest, okay? Because if you play, dude, he talks about getting taken out of context. I really hope that Ethan responds to this because this is fucking despicable. How he's done this. Okay, here we go. This is it here. Here it is.
Jewish Karen for caring. So with people like her deciding what is and isn't okay on Twitch, there's no surprise that you end up with these extraordinarily uneven enforcements of the rules. Take, for example, this clip of the streamer Destiny.
So cuts off the first part of this that makes it clear. Like this is, you know, obviously Hasan is presenting it in this way, or he's jumping off a chat comment to present it this way, and the person that edited the video has clipped this in this way, right? You're clipping out the initial part, which shows the context of this. I'm going to show you something that demonstrates uneven enforcement. And then this is the
He was
clip.
permanently banned for what he said here.
That community is never worth engaging with. There's just no point in doing it. Like, it's too, the risk of me, like, ending up getting, like, permabanned and my life destroyed because of these, like, inbred fucking disgusting losers is, like, it's just not worth it. It's just totally not worth it.
And okay, you know, fair enough.
And then the rest of it is excised. But if you play on, it's this.
If you're going to be consistent with the enforcement, then, you know, let's have a friendly place, a safe environment. It's calling a minority group inbred, which results in a permanent ban. Okay. Okay, has anyone else done that?
The Jewish KKK brigades out there, just a bunch of fucking inbred hicks. Imagine the most inbred white supremacist guy you can imagine, okay? Every week there was another fucking psychopathic settler, inbred fucking douchebag. Oh, these inbred fucking douchebags in the background, dude. A nation entirely comprised of messianic, inbred, ultra-orthodox,
Anyway,
psycho.
You get the point, right? It's exceptionally dishonest to present this as complaining about Destiny getting banned. Okay, listen, I don't know what your fucking game is, but you're too retarded to participate in my community. It's not a defense of Destiny. You're retarded if you perceive this as a defense of Destiny. It's pointing out Twitch's hypocrisy. That's all that's happening here. Very simple. Very simple point to understand. Very easy, simple point to understand, okay? But obviously, when you strip away the context, yes, you can make it look like it's just defending Destiny, but it's not. It's nothing to do with that.
Drama tubers in the Keemstar orbit. One thing that they always thought was a sacred cow that they never touched was people's bags, right? Like going after people's advertisers. I guess all of that, you know, fell apart when Dan Saltman and Epstein very clearly and deliberately created a Discord brigade server with the
Listen, okay. You guys know I agree with this. I know some of you are going to freak out. Oh, no. I agree that it's fucking insane that this narrative was created, that you would start going after advertisers. I hate it. I hate this shit. I think it's really dumb. So, okay, I will agree with that.
Purpose of going after...
Wrong messenger. Wrong messenger, though. Wrong messenger, because Hasan is obviously massively responsible for engaging in behavior that created this dynamic in the first place. Okay? So, wrong messenger, but I agree with the going after advertisers point.
For every single advertiser that would that advertised on Twitch to create what they called the adpocalypse. Here's some emails, an example template. It's preferred if you deviate from it as much as possible. Subject, urgent concern regarding upcoming
total cancer,
upcoming appearance with Hasan Piker, and then a whole bunch of emails. Dear CNN, I'm writing to bring an urgent concern to your attention regarding an upcoming appearance scheduled with Hasan Piker. It has come to my attention that Hasan Piker is known for promoting anti-Semitic views and
it's 100% in defense of Destiny. Okay, we've got to ban another retard.
Expressing support for terrorism-related activities. Oh, bro, please get a job, brother. Get a job, dog. And Ethan totally add fuel to the flame. What happened?
First, to stop Hasan infiltrating mainstream.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, Ethan has done this before. So, you know, it's like, well, this is Ethan's he did it with Keemstar going after his sponsorship, something that was heavily criticized, right?
Media. Hasan has been welcomed by many mainstream outlets. They view him as a friendly social democrat, as someone who's just trying to spread progressive politics online to an important demographic. But we know that's not true. He is not their friend or their ally. If you ever see Hasan rubbing shoulders with anyone from mainstream media, let them know politely, with all the civility in the world, what kind of person he is when he thinks mainstream media isn't watching. Help them understand that his name should be associated with people.
Oh, I see. Pi is like some sort of retarded Hasan defender. I get it now. Joke's on him after releases vid. Ethan lost 80k subs. Yeah, of course. The reason for that is because that is more than likely Hassan's community moving away, right?
People like Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones, other fringe radical political commentators.
What happened to all of these people that used to do call outs on things like that? I thought YouTubers, even on the drama side, given their own personal interest in maintaining like some kind of parody here, all right, and create like a protective barrier for themselves,
It's a fair criticism.
had this consistently held principle that you don't constantly push for people's advertisers to get taken.
I mean, it's a fair criticism. Everyone I've spoken to about this, I feel like has been critical of it. I don't know.
Which I don't have any, which is why they didn't even go after my advertisers.
Yeah, I remember, you know, I mean, you could argue Willie Mack didn't make a video about it, but I do remember Willie Mack, I think, went into the replies and was being critical of this. I saw a tweet or something.
Went after Twitch, right? And they lied about it. They lied about so many things, saying that Twitch is anti-Semitic. Here it is. Twitch never banned Israel. 95,000 new accounts were created, and Bloomberg News exposed Dan and Destiny for lying, but they covered it up and they deceived Ethan Klein. Here is r/YouTube drama. It's so crazy because there's like an entire Bloomberg article dedicated to this, which again...
Okay, listen, guys, I know that a bunch of you are going to be like, oh no, it's fine in this case. I disagree. I don't want to fucking go over it all and get into it, okay? You could disagree with me if you want. I've got a hard line in the sand about going after advertisers. It's not for me. It's not something I would ever do. Okay, if you think that's acceptable, whatever. Okay. I think the thing here though is that I don't know if this has influenced Ethan. I think that Ethan has himself engaged in this behavior before, right? And I don't know if this is Destiny's influence or Dan's influence necessarily. I think this is Ethan himself coming to this decision or this conclusion. And this clip just makes Dan look like a total fucking moron. It doesn't actually really substantively change Ethan's point in the video. You could argue, I think there's a fair argument, that Ethan could have been more specific, or Ethan could have been more careful in how he worded it around the Israel stuff and what happened there, certainly. But I don't think this really, again, changes much about Ethan's video.
Lose her job.
It's, again, just more attempts to try and associate Destiny with this when Destiny's mentioned once. Dan Saltman, I think, is mentioned once in the video for bringing to light the Israel thing. So, yeah.
And either be suspended for a year or never be hired again. I just saw something.
Okay.
I understand what happened here.
The emails accused Twitch of suspending all Israeli accounts for a year. A claim the company debunked.
Yeah, go back. Do you see what she did?
Well, like
that would be an egregious. That's like journalistic malpractice. That's a fabricated quote.
I don't understand how this happens though. Like how does someone keep their job after doing this type of? Because like the thing is, I sent this to the editor and I said this was incorrect and that I've never said this.
Okay. You're sure that your emails don't have the?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes. You can go to the site and click the button. It's been the same. Why would I ever say that they suspended Israeli users? I know that's not true. No one would ever say that. I've never said this, and they're saying that I have said this. I did. Listen, I sent an email to the editor, and I said I demanded a retraction or a correction on it. If they don't...
Does he live in your head rent-free? Who?
No. Okay, God, this is why it's... God, this is why it's so fucking annoying. I had to ban that fucking smug prick yesterday. It is not true to say that Twitch banned Israel. Okay? That isn't what happened. What is correct to say, that is really fucking bad still, is that Twitch prevented sign-ups from Israel. They prevented new accounts from signing up. Okay? Now, if you want to flesh it out further... They prevented signups from the entire region, which they claimed was linked to the war, but that's despite them not having done that in other situations where arguably they would have needed to do that, like the Ukrainian thing. And apparently, I don't know how true this is, so take this with a pinch of salt, but the claim is that Palestine uses different servers to log onto the internet from Egypt and stuff, so it didn't apparently meaningfully affect it. And also, I mean, obviously Gaza... lots of infrastructure issues there because of Israel's fucking, bombing campaign. So, whatever. But the basic point is, it is true to say one thing, but to say the other makes it sound worse. And Dan, the best faith interpretation I can give of his actions is that he was on some sort of schizo, insane tirade, arguably maliciously, even beyond that, was misrepresenting what had happened to make Twitch's actions sound worse.
Your mom?
I will sue him.
Oh, no, wait, hold on. Forget it. Delete this part of the VOD.
Okay.
Your dumb email does say that.
No way.
Even more troubling, Twitch previously...
Delete this part of the VOD. Your email does say that. They sent like 100,000 mass botted emails to like virtually every platform that would listen.
You can still sign up with your phone. I think that I believe that was, I can't remember the details. I believe that was contested. My understanding is that was a contested point. I don't even know if that is exactly true.
With an abject lie. Okay, they want you to react to the video so you can spend 5 hours on the back foot explaining how we clipped you out of context as opposed to you dealing with the claims face to face. Exactly. No, that's why they're like, why don't
so
you
now we're watching a clip of Dan looking like a total retard for some reason when Dan is mentioned once in the video for a period about 10 or 15 seconds. So again, we're focused on Destiny and Dan rather than the actual substantive claims that are made in the video. Dude, bro, it is so fucking transparent. The effort to make this about them rather than about Ethan, rather than about the video, and rather than about Hasan's own actions.
watch a video? Why don't you watch a video? I'm like, bro, I'm the subject matter of the video. He's the one who made the video. We literally used to have a podcast together. I'm sure if the fan base thinks...
Okay, that's not how people are talking about it, though. Twitch's actions are being repeated in political terms in the masses. Right, so people are claiming that Twitch banned Israeli accounts. Where is that coming from? Where is that idea coming from exactly? It's because Dan fucking said it, retard. It's because Dan pushed that message forward. God, you guys are so... Just admit that Dan's a fucking moron. What is your problem?
That I am terrified of Ethan and his political prowess. They would be excited at the prospect of Ethan Klein destroying me, okay?
Suspended all Israeli accounts for a year without public acknowledgement or explanation.
All right, well, never mind then. All right, we'll just trim that part out of the VOD. Well,
there
it is.
It's a good clip, though.
Even more
it's a good
Twitch
clip.
Previously suspended all
it's a good clip. It's a funny clip.
Yeah, let's just clip this part out of the VOD.
It's a funny clip. You can't deny. It's an all-time classic.
Please, let's just delete this part out of the VOD. Bro, you sent like 100,000 emails, dude. What are you talking about? Bro, you could deceive Ethan Klein by covering your eyes and saying you disappeared. Ethan spent so much time being a baby, he lost his concept of object permanence. By the way, do people notice when these people, be it Ethan, Destiny, this Dan character, talk about the ban, they never mention Palestine, which has the same restrictions? It goes to show how much people in the West dehumanize those people and don't even recognize their existence. Can you clearly state, do you support Hamas or not? That's all I care about. I'm a lesser evil voter, chat.
The property and migrate to the only place in the world that would accept them, which was... That is literally so far from reality. What are you talking about? The only place in the world that would accept them. You talking about America, bro? You talking about Canada? What are you talking about? The only place in the world that would accept them. How can you even say those lines seriously? That's crazy. Israel. The irony of this whole situation. That's insane. Why would you say that? The fuck? You could say maybe the only place in the world where they are the dominant, or were aspiring to be the dominant faction. At that time, they weren't. No, I don't know. That's just insane. That's just literally wrong. To leave their homes, their lives, the property.
Okay. I like Gokanaru. I think Gokanaru is mind raped by Ethan Klein. I've listened to some of his takes and I've been like, okay, that's fair. That's reasonable. That's a good criticism. But I think, I don't know what his dealings is with Hasan. But I think he is mind raped by his hatred towards Ethan, to be honest with you. That's my kind of perspective on this. So I can't speak to exactly what his coverage is like, because I've not watched it. But yeah, it's interesting that Hasan is using him for this kind of backing up. Again, bro, what is it, bro? What was the thing? he won't watch the video, but he'll watch critics of Ethan or supporters of Hasan watch the video. So he's doing that thing. It's so funny, dude. He's watching someone else watch it to jump off of that to defend himself.
And migrate to the only place in the world
wrong
that would accept them, which was Israel.
Not true.
The irony of this whole situation is that after the 1948 war, when Israel won the war to declare its independence.
Oh, yeah, also known as the Nakba. Your latest hasanabi.
Well, okay, you could argue that Ethan is being excessive in how he's stating it, but I think the point is, if you're in the Middle East, yeah, right, you're not necessarily going to want to uproot your whole life and move to like America or something like that, particularly if you then have to deal with the immigration concerns that come with that. If there's a place where you're going to be welcome in the Middle East, so you don't have to, meaningfully change where you are, you're likely to move there. I think that's the point that is being made. Ethan could have worded it more carefully. But like, yeah, it's like, you're not going to Canada? You're not going to America? Well, yeah, if you're in fucking Iran, Iraq, whatever the fucking countries are over there, it makes sense that you're not going to want to go all the way to fucking America when you don't know if you're going to be able to fucking, immigrate there. Whereas Israel is a place where they're saying, come and live here because of your Jewish nature. You'll be unquestioningly welcomed. Or I don't know how it works. Do you know what I mean, though? Do you know what I'm getting at?
Video about this nuke that explains this is pretty accurate. I watched the nuke first, though.
They won the war. They won the war to declare its independence. What does that mean? What does that mean?
The Arab countries got super anti-Semitic.
I saw E say that Israel was an apartheid, deny it was an apartheid, then deny he never ever denied it was an apartheid.
So you live in a country in the Middle East. Anti-Semitism is rampant, rising, whatever it is. They want you to leave, right? There's pressure on you to leave. Do you, A, travel before... I mean, I get, well... I in the 40s... I guess what would the predominant form of travel be to get from the Middle East to America or Canada? It would be a boat, wouldn't it? Right? I don't think transatlantic flights weren't a thing in the 40s. I don't know when that first started. That was when jets started being predominant, right? It'd be boat, wouldn't it? So, wait. So you got to get a fucking boat to America or Canada. Or why don't you get on the boat to America? You could argue Europe, perhaps, I guess. Maybe Europe. But then, are you going to want to move to Europe after everything that's just fucking happened with the Holocaust? Or is that going to be very traumatizing, going and living in the areas where your brethren were just fucking wiped out? So, does it not make sense that you would then... and they would probably be building from the war. Or you could move to this little patch of land in the Middle East, same climate, same, very culturally similar, and you could live there. And the idea is it's a state that is designed specifically to protect you and your rights. It just feels like a lot of this doesn't take into account the historical reality at the time and the fact that the fucking Holocaust had just occurred. Dude, I feel like Gokunaru is being pretty fucking retarded there in terms of... I'm assuming that he's not being clipped out of context and that's what he's saying. This idea that they should just go to America or Canada.
While watching a clip of him denying the apartheid, which he stopped early, all over the course of like a month. He just says whatever suits his argument.
Also religious history too. There's a religious aspect to it too, sure.
Yeah, I wonder what Israel's War of Independence looked like. Did you notice he has your stream in the background? Yeah, I don't know why he like... Is it like a haha, I'm like crazy, I've been obsessively tracking this man for the past couple of months, like as a joke? Or is it more so that like, he actually is kind of losing it a little bit and he just thought maybe he could make a joke about it and therefore people would think, oh, he's just doing this as a joke.
Oh my God, I can't handle it. Is he really trying to make it seem like that's irrational? After those dumb Arabs lost the war, they got super, super butthurt about it and started expelling their Jews. It's like, there's cause and effect, bro. They won the war. Yeah, okay, after the Israelis killed a massive amount of Palestinians. Other predominantly Muslim countries, the people got pissed off and they became unstable, or other Jews across the world. Ethan's literally giving the arguments that makes the inception and the way that the Israeli elite have been navigating. Basically, it confirms that the way that the Israeli elite have navigated have caused Jews around the world to be prejudiced against. Anyway.
Dude, okay, this sounds crazy, dude. This sounds fucking insane. This sounds like justifying poor treatment of Jewish people broadly because of stuff that Israel is doing. No? Am I missing something here? I don't know the ins and outs of the fucking geopolitics of it. Well, if the Jews didn't want to get expelled, maybe the Israeli elite shouldn't have done bad things. Okay. Am I missing something? I know nothing about this topic, okay? But it does seem like he is giving some justification there for the bad treatment of Jewish people, expelling them from countries because of stuff that the Israeli elite did. Okay. Where's the lie? Well, I mean, I just think it's unreasonable to try and justify the horrific treatment of individuals because other people that are somehow associated with them because they're Jewish, but they happen to be the Israeli elites engaging in a bad act.
Against their own Jewish citizenry that had nothing to do with Israel.
True.
I think him having your gameplay up is to say, but Hasan, how can
exactly? Yeah, the Jewish citizenry did not have anything to do with Israel, but they're trying to act like them getting expelled is reasonable because of the actions of the Israeli elite, whoever they may be.
Games while there's a genocide. Yeah, that's like one of the grossest misrepresentations from that side, like the Diddy Gears and Ethan and all these other slop tubers, is the notion that I said like, oh, I can't have these conversations. There's an ongoing genocide. I know they'll like clip it. I guess they probably like clipped it in a way where it makes it seem like I'm saying like, oh, I'm too busy. No, the point I was making is that I think it's pathetic and incredibly selfish to make an ongoing genocide about your own personal feelings. Okay? I didn't say...
I mean, here's another way of looking at it as well. How would Kokonari respond if Sneeko was to justify the expelling of Jews on the similar basis?
America tuned away a boat full of Jews fleeing from the Nazis. So yes, Israel was the only option.
That's another good point as well, yes. The Western nations were resistant to receiving Jewish refugees who were fleeing the persecution they were experiencing in Nazi Germany. I mean, it's insane to act like it's reasonable to expect Jewish people to want to go to the West with everything that happened, right?
I feel like Hasan will never answer anything seriously unless Ethan can physically sit him down and go over each part of the video in person.
Thank you for the $20. Thank you for the $20. Very generous. Thank you.
That you can't go out and have fun or anything like that, or that every single moment of your day is supposed to be tasked with covering what's going on in Gaza. Make no mistake, Ethan has rarely covered what's going on in Gaza from the perspective that actually demonstrates empathy to the Palestinians, and has spent the overwhelming majority of his past 16 months of talking about Israel either, one, shitting on pro-Palestinian people, two, shitting on pro-Palestinian activists, three, minimizing the pro-Palestinian movement, four, directly claiming that the pro-Palestinian movement is anti-Semitic, and saying all of the people who are pro-Palestinian are anti-Semitic as well, and last but not least, using...
Bro, I'm pretty sure, I do not believe that it's that everyone that is pro-Palestine is anti-Semitic. It is that people that are pro-Palestine that also engage in certain behavior and discussions about Israel in an anti-Semitic way are anti-Semitic. Ethan himself has said, he says in the video that he's pro-Palestine. He just found it very, reprehensible the way that lefties were treating it when it first happened.
This ongoing atrocity, okay? Ongoing atrocity to talk about his own personal feelings and how he has been slighted by the entire world. Not a single moment has taken place where Ethan Klein has taken a deep breath, okay, and gone, maybe the reason why my otherwise very progressive fan base is yelling at me is not because of Hasan grooming them, okay, into radical politics of anti-Semitism, okay? And instead, it's because of the things that I'm saying and the way that people are receiving the things that I'm saying.
To imply that that's of no fault to Israel is insane. Because again, the Israeli inception, they were co-opting the Jewish identity in order to justify colonizing this region. So you should be pointing your at the Israeli regime. But anyway, I'm not saying those other.
Wait, what? Okay, I don't know anything about this, but that sounds dumb.
People are receiving the things that I'm saying.
To imply that that's of no fault to Israel is insane. Because again, Israelis, the Israeli inception, they were co-opting the Jewish identity in order to justify colonizing this region. So you should be pointing your eyes at the Israeli regime. But anyway.
Co-opting the Jewish identity? Wait, how is it co-opting the Jewish identity? I thought the whole conception and the point of Israel was, you know, particularly off the back of the Holocaust having happened, right? I'm not after this. I don't care about watching more of Go Canario. I just want to move on to something else. I've been covering this for fucking hours, but thank you for the suggestion. It was, hey, here's a state where you can live in peace and safety without fear of persecution because this state is being set up specifically and designed around your religious and ethnic identity. And it was the kind of final, I feel it's a bit bad to use this term, final solution to the concept of Zionism which had existed before. It's like, well, now this has happened, let's put this into practice. And obviously the British supported this concept and they allowed the Jews to set up this patch of land essentially where they could live in peace and security, which would give them some peace of mind after the atrocity that had happened in World War II. Is that not what it was? I don't know if I'm missing something here, but my understanding is that what happened. Now, that's not to say that Israel... that's not to say that Israel isn't criticizable and there isn't things that have done that are atrocious and terrible, but this narrative that the Jews were co-opting Jewish identity to do this... No, I think this was making good on the concept of a Zionist principle of having a land where the Jews can exist in peace and safety. Anyway, I don't know enough about it. Don't take my word for it, okay? I'm a fucking know nothing about this. I'm just concerned that what Go Canario is saying seems extremely sidescucked in one direction.
I'm not saying those other governments don't deserve criticism, but it's like there's a cause and effect. It's insane. It actually, like, when I heard that, my spine vibrated, bro. And I know that this is going to be so intense because we have over an hour left, bro. Over an hour left, man. Holy I can't handle this, honest to God. It's the reason it pisses me off, bro. The reason it sincerely pisses me off is because we are so carelessly stomping into very nuanced global conflicts throughout the last 100, 200 years.
Imagine my flabbergast when I found out that the anti-black allegations against hasanabi that literally kept me away from his content for so long were actually being led.
Bro, who the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on here? Looks like some sort of cyberpunk skin.
By bitter Kamala Harris voters who were upset that that man would not bend the knee to a genocidal girl boss. Now imagine how my flabbergast intensified when I created a positive narrative around the aforementioned.
Yeah. This, for the record, is like a very commonplace opinion. This is why I always say, look, man, find out on your own. I'm live every single day. Okay? I'm live every single day. You can find out on your own whether I am this bad, evil person, this dangerous person. Okay?
This is it, I think.
That others are claiming. Don't get duped by the clips. Just watch on your own. That's why I saw this tweet that was going viral already before I even retweeted it.
Wait a second. But the point is the clips demonstrate behavior that maybe you're not even engaging in anymore. Like maybe you're not going to be bringing on another Houthi terrorist to talk to them. Right? So, yeah, crazy.
I spent like 5 years thinking Hasan was some horrible human and decided to watch a stream one day, and he dropped like 2 mil to a minority group and then covered 3 ongoing problematic issues. I just think people hate him because he calls people idiots when he beefs with them. I promise you, it is not...
Wow, my fan likes me. What's the problem?
that hard to figure out what I'm about.
Come on, Dave.
I am perhaps a little too open about my political perspective. I think it is indecent to hide your biases. Okay? I am the first person to tell you what my biases are. I believe that everyone has a political bias, and I think it's important to openly mention what your political biases are. That's why I say what I believe. I don't try to lie to you and make it seem like this is a neutral perspective. Many people do this instead. They say,
No one is saying that you're trying to present a neutral perspective. It's that you downplay the extremity of your politics for expediency. Dude, it's like we've twisted this so much now that it's like, calling me neutral is absurd. I'm not neutral. I'm obviously not neutral. And that was never the argument.
I'm coming at this from a position of neutrality. Okay? What about you saying you water down your stances to get people in the door? Great question. It's called being a normal person. If I were to go into dialect...
What? Dude! Oh my God, bro. It's called being a normal person. Having extremist politics in the background and saying I'm a social democrat. No, it's not. Most people just tell you what their politics are plainly.
Materialism with every random person, people would look at me like I'm the most autistic man.
Also, the problem isn't having a dialectical materialist analysis, right? The problem is this is so dishonest as well. It's the extreme perspectives and conclusions that you have about stuff. Using a frame of analysis that is of a left-wing persuasion is fine. It's that you've got extremist political views. That's the issue. That's what people are concerned with being hidden.
Planet, you might consider... By the way, where did you get that information from? Oh, that's right. I f***ing revealed it. Further evidence that I am, once again, honest to a fault. That's it. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. 90% of the time, my haters will literally act like they have uncovered the secret truth when it's something that I have voluntarily revealed. Okay? And then they just lie about it too. They just add like lies to it. Why are you hiding the thing you said yourself? Is half of the time, that's what people are basically stating is like, well, I saw a clip of you openly admitting that you do this thing. Why are you hiding this? And it's like, no, it's not only something that I openly mention all the time. It's something that I tell chatters as well. It's something that I tell chatters to do as well. Be normal. Okay? Be normal. Be normal. Be normal. Be normal.
There we go. Yeah. You were very brave for being able to see this from the start. I mean, dude. Yeah, I'm great. I'm amazing. I'm totally fucking amazing, dude. Bro, Hasan. I mean, I've covered Hasan a lot, so I don't know. I'm to be honest with you, I'm bored of it. I'm bored of talking about Hasan. It's just I thought I'd watch this as it's easy content, and I don't know. It's kind of fun. I guess I've not really covered Hasan much for a while, so it's nice to dip in and just see that he hasn't changed at all. But I think that's it. Honestly, for the Hasan stuff. Unless something else crazy happens, I'm kind of done with it.